And this is the OK Show. We are live on a Monday. My name is Iceman.
You got Rod Rodriguez. What up?
What up? What up? Happy Monday. Is it a happy Monday on your end, Rod?
Nah, man. It's been a stressful Monday. Stressful
Or
Monday.
you're still not sure if it's a Monday or a Sunday? Are you confused
I
still?
know it's a Monday. I know it's a
All
Monday.
right.
It's I had
Okay,
to wake up
cool.
early. Get my son ready for school and everything. But it's stressful, man. Stressful. It's stressful being a parent. Just being a parent. It's stressful. It's stressful. It's when you're dealing with a kid, when you're dealing with an infant or a child, it's tiring. But when you're dealing with a kid who's about to approach puberty, it's stressful. It gets stressful. Was I this stressful when I was this age? But they're at that age where they think they know everything, and like you try to reason with them, and they're like,
Maybe that's why
you
your
know what I'm
parents
saying?
stayed away from you as far as possible.
Probably only my Lola could deal
Right?
with me. But
Right?
I wasn't
Yeah,
stressful,
grandparents are so
man.
good with dealing with kids. But parents, oh
Yeah.
my God. I think my dad and my mom, I think they did the same thing with us. They would just constantly leave us with our grandparents. Most of the time, I would be with my Lola and my Lolo, and they'd
Yeah,
be
same
out
here,
there
man.
somewhere. I don't know what they were doing. I think my dad
I,
played a lot of bowling, and my mom was
yeah,
always with him,
they
and
were
they never
staying away from
cared.
stress.
Right.
Yeah.
And my
Well, we
grandpa
were
was
all
pissed at some
yeah.
point.
We were just malikot, man. That's what we were. We were just like rowdy kids. That's what we were. We were really like we couldn't reason. We didn't know much. We didn't have the internet to empower us. We didn't have all this like our minds weren't open. We didn't see other parenting styles. We weren't reading documentaries. We weren't finding out how kids in Western countries dealt with their parents. Like we believed in everything that our parents would say, and what the elders would say would freak us out, and we would just that was it. That was the end all be all. We saw the belt, and we behaved. Kids now, it's like their level of reasoning is I don't know. It's like you try to reason with them, and they just look at you like you don't know what you're saying. And they do have a lot of knowledge, but they don't have any wisdom whatsoever. And there's a big difference right there. The wisdom and the knowledge, those are two different things. So but you can't convince them. They can't tell the difference. But anyways, yeah, it's part and parcel of being a parent. 1 minute you're hugging and kissing your kids, the next minute you just like wanna do things to them that bantay bata would probably put you in jail
Frown
for.
upon. All
But
right. Okay.
yeah, for
That's
not
right.
yeah.
That's extreme. All right. Cool.
Yeah, cases filed and all that stuff. But either way, today is a Monday, so we have a topic, and thank God it's not related to parenting because it's something that we face every day for the both of us. You're headed there, your kid's still at that stage where she's still kind of cutie. So, what is our topic?
Which is more painful, ang iniwan o nang iwan?
Ooh, okay. All right. So these are different situations, different takes on I guess a situation where a lot of people have gone through. Have you gone through both?
I don't know, man. I think so. I think so.
Iniwan at nang iwan?
Right. But for the most part, I think
Yeah.
you always remember the part where someone left you. That's
Yeah.
always more memorable for you because for some reason you have that pain, you have that hatred,
That
and you want
nahugot.
vengeance. Yeah. You have that hugot, you know. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There were probably times when I was the one who actually initiated to leave the relationship, but I don't know if it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in a way, difficult. I thought I felt a little bit of pain, but I don't think it can compare to when somebody just left you, to die in the wilderness. That's a totally different animal right there.
Yeah. We're,
Right.
we're talking about relationships here, right? We're not talking about like parents deserting their
No, no.
kids
Oh, yeah,
or
that can
like your
apply if they
friends
want
left
to, but
you.
I think for the most part, it's. I mean,
It's
when your kid
relationships.
leaves you for a college or if they get married or something, you don't really, like you're in pain. It's difficult, but it's not that I mean, it's a different kind of pain. Whereas if you're in a
Yeah.
relationship and it's like romantic, it's really
Yeah.
different because I mean, there's that feeling right there. Like it's mixed emotions,
Yeah, yeah.
anger, love,
It's starting to be more of a reality
romance.
here because back in the day, it's like when Pinoy kids go to college, like here in the Philippines, you don't really go very far away from your parents unless you go to UP and you fly off to Manila and stuff, and you stay in a dorm, or you go to Philsci and you go to you stay in a dorm or whatever. In the States, that's kind of a norm because most kids there, they move out and then they go to the university, or and they don't see their parents until like it's some break or whatever. But here in the Philippines, it's like if you go to Ateneo, like your house is just down the street, so you still see your parents. It's, most kids here go to a university or a college that's near their houses, so it's not much of a thing. There's not much setbacks when kids go to college back then. But now it's like with all these new schools and the kids wanting to travel and the kids wanting to be exposed elsewhere. Pinky went to school in Europe. I mean, that's obviously she's way older than most kids, so I don't think there was setbacks involved there. But still, but right now we're talking about, I guess, in the context of a relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know. Hopefully not like anything super serious. Shout outs going out to Lay, of course, Judge T on board as well. He's the first one to roll the ball with this one. Okay, so we welcome your feedback. We want your comments. We would love to read them, and then we'll just throw in our personal experiences, from time to time. I think CJ is on board as well. Of course, Mary Beth, our regular, is on, and we would love to hear your take on that too, Mary Beth. Judge T says, mas masakit kung iniwan pero wala kang pamasahe pa uwi. Yeah.
Now
Well,
that's a double kill right there.
my
Judge,
parents left
double
me
murder
for
behind
dead to
double
dorm.
murder.
Yeah. My parents left me for dead to dorm. Then he found me. Yeah, well, I guess that's the upside, right? So we can talk about that too. Like the positives, if there's any, of iniwan and nang iwan. And both. But I've been on both situations. Ice has been on both situations. In most cases, obviously, you kind of feel like you have the upside when you're the one in an E1 because
Mhm.
right? It's not all the time, right? There are cases where nang iwan ka because you had to. Maybe it was just too difficult to maintain that relationship. Maybe the world was against you. Maybe the parents, didn't want you to be a part of her life. Maybe it just was an
Wow.
effort every time you had to see each other, right?
Mhm.
I mean, we've gone through that stuff. I've gone through that stuff where I felt like I wasn't welcome anymore. Even if you're welcome in a woman's life, but you're not welcome with the people around
Did you
her,
feel did you feel
it makes it
like your
difficult for
business
her.
wasn't big enough or you didn't have any business? Was that sort of
I
a
felt
feeling like, "Oh, maybe if I have a really big business, they'd be more welcoming." Or if
the
I'm
funny
in the same if I'm in the same religion as these guys are, I'd
look
be
here's a
more
look
welcome.
here's the thing. I made
Was
all
that
the
a feeling?
necessary steps. I made all the necessary steps. Like
Right. You went to
like
church,
yeah, I didn't convert per se because
you
it
bought a
wasn't
newer
necessarily.
car,
Yeah, I
right?
went to a church. I bought a newer car. I got to know her family. I was a regular at her house. I made all the necessary steps, but when you're like years into the relationship, the people start to have certain expectations about the evolution of your relationship. They start looking at you like, okay, is this guy just like boyfriend material, or is this guy ever going to be husband material? And I guess I was always just like
Well, what's the
boyfriend
difference
material, and
though?
then
What's the difference between a
husband
boyfriend
material
material
is
and a
like
husband
husband
material?
material is like taking it to the next level. I guess financially,
Oh,
you
I
start
know,
to
I
grow
know, I
up.
know, I know. A husband material is a person who's already been married once, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm,
because he can prove that he's been a husband.
I'm throwing shots here.
Well,
That was a
that
jab.
that's
That was a
certainly
jab.
that's certainly not me. I mean, but
I
I
know,
wouldn't
but
know. Like
like
I
in your
didn't even
previous
know. Like I wouldn't
relationship,
even
that was
know.
the case, right? Because a
Like
husband material in that particular case
oh
was
oh
like,
oh
oh,
you mean for her, like from
yeah,
her
yeah,
end.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
I
all
was
right.
taking a
I didn't
jab,
get that. I didn't get that right away. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. But I
right?
guess just some guys just are they have that security that they can bring in.
Uy,
Where all of a
katon,
sudden a
minute
woman
naman to
just
one time. But then it didn't work out. So see, I mean, that should have been a red flag.
yeah. I mean from her end, hey, that whatever her choice was, but I guess it's like, yeah, I had to get out of there. I felt like I had to get out of there. It just was I was trying to fit myself. I was like a square trying to fit in a circle, and you can do that for like a couple of years. But I was getting older too. I wasn't getting any younger. And if I'm gonna get out of this situation, I better get out of the situation while there's still some left of me, because I'm not gonna get out of this situation where I'm all like exhausted and there's no more love to give. There's no more rod left there are no new experiences for me to have with other women. So I felt like, yeah, I had to get out of there, and that was difficult, man. It's more difficult because, in a sense, where it was difficult because of the familiarity. I think sometimes we misinterpret routine with love, or attack, sometimes we misinterpret attachment with like infatuation, like, or attraction for that matter. Maybe you were just attached, or maybe you were just part of your routine, where every day you're texting this person, every day you're having
True.
lunch with this person.
True. I agree.
Every day it's a routine, and then you start to think that you can't move on from that, and you think that that's love, right?
But how is
But
that different from like from being married? I mean, you have all those things as well, and
the
sometimes,
routine, you mean?
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, the romance is there right in the beginning, but then as the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
relationships, as relationships, um, grow, and it stretches and whatever. I mean, we all experience different types of we go through different types of
I
things
get what you mean.
in
I get
our
what you
lives.
mean.
And so
Yeah.
for some people it stays mostly the same. For some people it's like totally different. So I mean, how is that
Yeah,
different
yeah.
from like just boyfriend girlfriend and you're already married, and then all right,
I guess
so
for
maybe I should
for
like
for
get out of
me,
here?
yeah, for me, I think that the big difference is that I never lived in with a girl before. Like I never, like, with all my girlfriends, no matter how serious we got, I never lived in or moved in with a girl. So we were never under the same roof. There was always this, like, she goes back home to her parents and would see each other. So I still had a separate life. Like I could see my friends without her knowing. I could do things that she would have no prior knowledge of. I could, I
Right.
had. I mean, she wasn't always a part of my daily existence. And when you get married, she does become a part of your daily existence. Whether I'm reading a comic book, whether I'm drawing, whether
Right.
I'm playing video games, whether
She would
I'm
know if
drinking
you're
with
seeing
my
your friends or
friends,
not, right?
she's
Where are you
there. Yeah,
going?
she's
Right.
yeah. So
Oh,
which kind of makes it worse when you think about it, right?
I'm going
Which
to
kind of
meet some of my friends, or I'm just going out to
we,
buy something for three
yeah,
hours.
which kind of makes it
Why do you
worse
smell
because
like beer?
back when I had
But
like
I
a
think okay,
girlfriend, I
okay.
was like,
I think that was that was the difficult part, right? Because that person was sort of like she couldn't understand the drinking, the parties. Yeah, was that the whole
oh,
thing?
okay,
She couldn't get
you're
those
referring
things.
you're referring to that person in my past. Yeah, she
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
wasn't like yeah, she was totally like she did not understand that at all, and
All right, so
she
that
was
was
not
lame.
willing to understand it,
All right,
and she wasn't willing
lame.
to understand it at all. I
All
mean, she
right,
would
so
judge my
yeah,
friends, and she would pick my
so
friends, and
iniwan mo,
actually, when you think about it, it's like didn't really have a choice. Like,
right?
yeah, I mean, like I heard stuff from
How
people,
did
I
you
heard
feel?
stuff from you, I
Was
found
it
out about
painful for you after
dude. You know
leaving her?
what? It just the thing is, it was never confirmed that this was the right choice that I made until I started spending time and seeing another woman who ended up being my wife.
Yeah,
That was what confirmed it. Because when you're alone and you get off a relationship that's long term, and you're so used to being with that person, regardless if it was more wrong than right,
true, true,
it
right?
becomes a part of you. Like it's like
Right. It's
you
it's
you
like it's
live
like
and
being in
breathe
a
that,
lame relationship, and then you meet this
but not
person who's
knowing
like
it's
really
lame,
cool. Well, yeah, you
but not
didn't know
knowing that
then.
I didn't
Yeah,
know until I
yeah,
found
you didn't
somebody
know
like who,
until you met
yeah.
somebody who's really cool, and you're like,
Yes,
oh,
yes,
I can do it. Oh, we can both do it
yes.
together, and
Yeah,
oh, she
that's
can be
right.
friends with my friends.
That's
Oh,
right.
they actually
I'm
click
actually
and
I'm
stuff like
actually not
that.
that bad of a guy because I'm
Exactly,
actually not
right?
that, because I felt guilty with all the things that I was doing with
Just
my
one of the
previous
brothers
relationship.
pulling you, pulling you out, pulling you on the side and telling you,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I,
Ayun,
right,
bilang yan,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. It's like exactly. He was like, man, like that. I was like, whoa. I'm like, okay, all right.
Hey,
I mean,
hey,
this was
wait,
like,
wait a minute,
we haven't
wait
been
a minute.
we haven't been seeing each other a month, and like the brother's like giving me the stock already. I'm like, oh, all right, I got you. Well, don't worry, don't worry. And I did keep my
But at
promise.
least it was
So
straight to your face, right? It was straight to your
yeah,
face
yeah, yeah.
and talking
Straight
to
in my
you
face.
like a human being. Like,
Yeah.
okay, dude,
Yes,
what's the
yes.
deal? All right, whatever you do,
Yeah.
don't hurt my sister. Blah blah.
The
Cool.
the,
At
the,
least,
the,
yeah.
the thing the thing kasi with like nang iwan and iniwan, the thing with nang iwan and iniwan is like most people when they say when they see somebody and says saying nang iwan, everybody thinks that person is spared of pain, of like having to deal with the difficulty of being alone, because saying nang iwan, like immediately they assume nang iwan dahil may iba, right? Right?
Right.
But but I've been on like I've experienced both. Nang iwan ako na like because I liked another girl. Nang iwan din ako because it was just not the right thing for me. Nang iwan
Right.
din ako because like yeah, you had to do it. You know, it's like if you kept
Iniwan
on,
ka
it's
kasi
still
nang
gonna you
two-time
know.
ka.
Yes, nangyari din yan. Iniwan ako, then nag two-time ako. Iniwan din ako because
Then you
she just
cried
didn't like
hard.
me.
No,
She just realized
no.
she just realized she just realized that she didn't like me. I mean, has that ever happened to you? There's this girl, dude. There's this girl went to women's. She was hot, like all the guys liked her and all that stuff. And like you know, obviously we started going out and it wasn't
Then you
anything
took her for
like that's
granted.
why no, that's why we had this argument before, this discussion about needing to hear the word yes. Because she never committed. Like she never said she was my girlfriend. But we were going out. You know, we watched a
Then you were
Yano
boyfriend
concert
girlfriend.
together. No,
Who
no, no.
cares
I
about
know,
the yes?
but no, but see, that's the thing. We started hanging out. We'd see each other at like at ATU Plaza. You know, we'd have meals and all that stuff. So I did have a girlfriend at the time. I thought she was my girlfriend, and I know that a lot of other guys liked her. And I think apparently one of her crushes made a move on her, and I felt it. Like all of a sudden, she didn't want to like see me. Like if we'd see each other at AT plus, like she didn't want me to be too near her. She always brought her friends. I just felt like, man, I felt like I felt like I had a virus or
Then
something that she
well,
just wanted. You felt it, and I asked her, I'm like, what's
I would
going on?
just
You know,
bail out. I mean, I would just
and
bail.
she
I
said,
mean, if that
and
happens,
she
I was just
said,
like, fuck it.
she said,
Yeah,
hindi
let's
naman,
get
hindi
out of
naman
here.
tayo. It was
All
never
right,
formally
fine.
us.
Okay.
So I was like, you know, I was like, crap. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Okay, but were you doing
but
things
you know,
that boyfriend girlfriend people do?
yeah,
Did
yeah,
you
yeah.
do it?
You know, I bought her my,
If
I
you
bought her
did
my
it, then
house.
it's
No,
fine. Then
no,
it's
no, 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 no. We didn't get that. We like heavy petting and all that stuff. Yeah, like almost, like maybe third base. I bought her to my house. I bought her
all
like
right.
to my
Fine.
house
Third
several
base, fine. I'll,
times.
I'll take third base. If
I
at
know.
third
But
base she realizes she likes someone else, I'm like, all right, fine. I'm good with third base.
I
That's
know,
that's
but
good
I'm
enough for
different,
me.
man. Like the thing is, like she was
What
pretty.
you
You know,
wanna
I was like,
you wanna go all the
she was
way, get that home
no, no,
run?
no. It wasn't even that. Like I just wanted her to be my girlfriend. She was pretty. She was pretty, dude. Like she was pretty. I'm like, I thought I had it in. Like I had a lock. Like, and then she gave me that line. She's like, it was never us. I never gave you the yes. You know, di naman tayo naging like agree. I'm like, and I couldn't throw anything back at her. So I'm like, okay, all right. I guess you're right. You know, I had to deal with it. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, just curse her out and just walk out. That's it.
Hold on. Jetboy knows the girl. Jetboy knows the girl. Jetboy knows the girl, and that
Of
girl is
course,
crazy.
I wouldn't be
Apparently, she got
surprised.
crazy. She
I
got
wouldn't be
crazy like
surprised.
later. You probably know the girl.
Me?
Yep, she crazy, man. She
Probably,
crazy. She
probably.
crazy. She's crazy. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So
Okay.
you know the
Does
girl. I
the
think you know
name
the
starts
girl.
with
You
a
actually know the
K?
girl.
K or C? K or C? C or K? All right, C. All
C.
right.
Yeah,
I think I know the
I knew
girl.
it. I knew it. I knew
ETU?
it.
Yeah,
I
of
knew it.
course
I
I do.
knew it.
And like, yeah, most of the people that you
But
know, I know
did
as
you do it
well.
to did you do it to you too? Did you do it to you
No,
too?
I know.
I'm
I
sure there were a
think
lot of women
okay,
victimized.
that girl's friend was Master Yoda sort of um like
Okay.
yeah, okay, you're
All
okay,
right.
that girl, what she
Yeah,
had
yeah,
with
yeah.
you,
Yeah,
her
same
friend
thing.
had that thing with
See?
Master Yoda.
I
She
told
did
you.
the same thing with him.
Yeah,
Oh, they're
exactly,
friends.
man.
Holy
I
crap,
told
they're
you, dude.
friends.
Yep. Yes.
Birds with
They're
the same
fine.
feathers, they flock
I'm
together.
telling you. I'm
Biatches.
telling you. But you know,
Okay.
I was glad that she didn't
Those
become my girlfriend
biatches,
because like
man. Ah,
looking back, I'm like, shoot, I didn't want to be associated with that woman. Like I wouldn't want people to think like Rod. Like I mean, you'll realize later what kind of a
no, I mean they
person
were
that
just
person is.
having
And
fun. I think
they
that was
were, they
I think
were,
they were just
they
having
were,
fun. I think that's what you
they
did with
were.
with my best friend, and my best friend
Yeah.
got pretty
Yeah.
hurt, man, pretty bad.
Yeah, they were. I mean, like I said, some women like you don't really like they get you hook, line, and sinker, and you don't see the big picture until
Right,
much later, and you realize, damn, what the heck did I like take that seriously? Like, what the heck she was
right.
playing me, you know? But it's lessons learned, man. And I learned a lesson from that. I learned a lesson from the other relationships, and that's why I'm saying like. We've been in situations where in iniwan, we've been in situations where in iwan. There's been a situation where, yeah, masakit, mas masakit ng iwan or iniwan. Okay. Personally, if you had to make me choose, I would rather na iniwan
Hmm.
than nang iwan.
All
I
right,
wouldn't want it
cool.
to be done to me.
See,
Ayokong
okay, so
iwanan ako.
Gabby, it's not so bad because Rod would want it that way. Because Gabby's
Yes.
telling us, ako palagi ang iniiwan, so I can't relate to the other side. But
Yeah, I
really
would
now,
rather.
Gab.
You know why?
Why is
Because
that?
like
Why is that? Why would you want to be the one,
okay,
you know, being left
not
behind?
anyone.
Like, yeah,
Because
you know,
well, especially here in
why would you want to be the one
especially here in the
who's, you know, like
Philippines,
who's dumped?
especially here in the Philippines, like kung ikaw yung nang iwan, it's like you're the bad guy. You know, like regardless if people know about the story, how it turned out to be,
But
but
not
ikaw yung nang iwan,
necessarily. I mean,
everybody just wishes ill for you. You know, like sana maghiwalay kayo ng bago mo. Sana lukohin ka din ng babae
well,
na. I
yeah,
mean, without even like getting
her
to the
and her
details.
friends probably, or you know,
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
parties, you know, posse. Like they would like
yeah.
wish that on you. But then, I mean, what will you do if you're not happy anymore? Would you stay in a relationship? I mean, you're doing, you know, both yourselves a favor. You're the one initiating it, but in the long run, it's good for the both of you. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, but when you say nang iwan, it kind of
Yeah,
sounds
these,
like
you know, like
you're the
okay,
one who
these
did
are
the hurting,
labels.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
for me, it
If it's
depends on.
mutual, you
Mhm.
know. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, okay. For me, it depends
For
on the situation. Masakit din ang nang iwan because a part of me wants to stick around, but I have to think about my sanity too. All right, V. All right, see,
all right,
that's a good
good
point.
point. Good
You
point.
have to
That's a
think
good
about your
point.
sanity as well, your
That's
mental
right.
health.
That's right.
I
That's why I
mean,
did what I did, right, Ice?
yes, of course. That's why you left.
Actually, para ako naman tayo iniwan eh, when you think about it. I just like made it
No,
formal.
well,
I didn't
not
even make
well,
it formal. I just kind of like left.
dude, because that's
Just
how we
disappeared.
are. I guess that's how we are. Because I did that as well. I just like
Yeah, we
disappeared.
just kind of like yeah, we
I
just
think I did that
disappeared.
like one or two times. I think one or two times. I mean that were okay. If you know like what happened to you, I would have done the same thing. I'd be like, "F it, man." I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I would find
Yeah.
out from another person, from the
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
from the
That's
last
right.
person that I thought I would hear about this, and you know this is coming from him. And if not
Yeah.
for this guy, I would probably like not know anything about it.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I
Absolutely.
mean,
Absolutely.
that's really painful. And
That's
me,
why
that would be
dude,
me. I just
that's
like
why
I just walk out
absolutely
and not,
I thank you for that. I sometimes forget like the role that you played in it. It's like I thank you for that because like when you gave me that talk, it's like it kind of because you're it's rare that guys tell other guys like if a guy like for example if I'm a guy right and I see a guy friend of mine like I see his wife with another guy, it would be very unlikely for me to tell my friend that, dude, I saw your wife with another guy. With women, that's, and I don't want to generalize here, but with women, that's kind of normal. It's kind of like, it's kind of normal for them to like all of a sudden, you know, tell all their friends and say, hey, let's get
right.
together, let's help our beshi. Then parang niloko siya ng husband niya o ng boyfriend niya. But for me, for us guys, we don't really like, we don't, as much as possible, we won't, right? Like we won't. Like if the wife calls you and tells you,
Yeah.
sino kasama na asawa ko kagabi? Like, would you really say? Like, you'd be like, ay, labas na ako dyan. Malay ko, labas na ako dyan. Like, I've said that line many times to girlfriends of my friends. Tinawagan ako, labas na ako dyan, labas na ako dyan, wala ko alam
I
dyan.
forgot what was the
Right?
topic when we had that
But,
conversation. I think that was like
but
I
when, but when you gave me that talk,
what
I called one of her close friends, female friends, and she couldn't give
yeah,
me an
which
answer.
is also my
And that
classmate. Yeah.
confirmed, also your classmate, and that confirmed. That was like, okay, so there you go. It
So
took
you
Ice to be
so you
upfront with me.
realize all right, okay. So you so I mean
Yeah,
in
we
the
don't
beginning you
rat
probably
bros
thought
out.
like
That's
oh
right.
maybe this is like it could be BS, right? I mean you just can't take
No, no, no.
my
I
word
mean,
for it.
no, man. I didn't think it was BS. Just I don't know. I didn't. We weren't that close back then, but I just knew, man. I mean, like I like when you said it, like things like fell into place. Like, because I mean, you wouldn't have a reason to believe a rumor if you didn't have something playing in your head to begin with.
Right.
You must have
I
had
don't know like
doubts already, and the
what were we
rumor just kind
talking
of
about?
like solidifies it.
Because I think I was
No,
just like
I don't even remember. I think I came back from
I don't think we were
Thailand and
talking
then
about
I
it specifically. I mean, we were just talking about something else,
I don't yeah, I don't
and
know how we I don't
I
know,
think we
but you
were
mentioned
no,
it to me.
okay. It was casual. I think okay. I remember the conversation now because we were talking about like, oh yeah, you know, like you're not that person that you're with at that time. It's like, all right, yeah, oh yeah. One time I was like at this, I guess you know, like we have so many common friends. I was like, oh yeah, I was at the
Yeah,
wedding
yeah.
of that friend, and yeah, and I
You
actually
saw
saw your
something,
yeah, and
yeah.
it was with. I
Yeah.
thought like, oh, were you? I think I asked innocently, like, "Oh, were you broken up at that time?" Because I saw him
Yeah.
or I saw her with someone else. So
Yeah,
were you like
yeah.
on a cool off or were you like together? So I think that was like I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
know what the situation was. So I think me and my big mouth, because I thought like,
No,
all right,
man.
they're
I
probably
mean,
not
dude,
together. So I
thank
was just
God
like,
for your big mouth. I mean,
oh, me and my
dude,
big mouth.
that game would have been played longer than it should have been, you know, like unnecessarily played. Like I'm
That's
glad I
true.
got out of
Yeah,
that. I mean,
I didn't know that. I mean, I saw the dominoes. Like fell. Like after
yeah,
that, like conversation we had, and
yeah,
I was just like,
yeah.
crap. Did I
Yeah.
cause all of this? Because
No,
after that,
man. For
I was
people
just
wondering
like,
what's going on, what's going on, it's basically like in my past, there's things happen, and then like Iceman like witnessed something that I didn't witness because I was out of the country, and when we started working together for this radio station, we got a conversation, and he kind of like mentioned some things, and he kind of like these were things that were never mentioned to me. These were things that were never opened up to me, and I didn't like it wasn't necessarily like he wasn't like making he wasn't he was not magnifying something or exaggerating anything. It was just like it was just a situation, and he just narrated it as it was. And for me, it was kind of like a confirmation, it was like a confirmation that okay, I maybe I needed to get out of that situation. And it spared me, and it led me to better things. And I think that's like what I said.
ako
Sometimes
ang nagtulak
it's
sa'yo
hard.
na mang-iwan. Was that it? Was I the one who pushed you to do that? Mang-iwan?
No, actually, dude, sa totoo lang, it's like, ikaw yung nagmulat ng mata ko na matagal na akong iniwan. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
Right? You get me?
right.
Ah, that's the
All right,
reality of
that's
it,
cool.
right?
That's
And
cool. Playing it
I just
smart,
kind of made it,
turn
I
the
just kind of
tables
made it
around.
easy on the person. Remember that Jimmy Bondoc song, right? Let me be the one to break it up, and then because he knew, right?
Right.
He knew it was it. That's it. It's done. So
Somebody
he just kind
told
of
me you
formalized
were
it.
leaving. I
Oh, here you
didn't
go.
know.
See? Ayan na. Copyright,
That was
copyright,
my
copyright.
song. Copyright.
Oh,
Copyright,
that was your
man.
song? I don't know. That was like a big song back then, right?
Dude,
Na, na,
that's my
na.
song for
That
my
was a big
for my
song back then.
freaking for my freaking wife. I mean,
Okay, so
she was
that's
just
what that
like
song's
out
about,
there.
right?
Yeah, yeah. She was
That's
like
what that
here
song's about.
for she was here for a long time, and the
Yeah,
calls that was like a weekly thing became like a monthly thing up until it became like a quarterly thing, and I was like, what the
yeah,
heck's going on? And sometimes she'd call
yeah,
me like once in 4 months, and for what? For 3 minutes, 3 minutes in
yeah.
3 months. That's our conversation. So I
Oh
was
my
just like,
god.
how long would I? How long will I play dumb and whatever? So then that song was playing
Yeah.
out on the radio. I was with my
Okay,
friends,
so
and they were like laughing hard at me,
are
and
we
I was like,
revealing
oh
our
crap.
like hinanakits
No,
here?
it just
Are people seeing
no,
the
no,
vulnerable
because we're
side
talking.
of Rod and Iceman?
Yeah, because we're talking about
People
like
are like,
iniwan and
kawawa
mang
pala tong
iwan.
dalawan to.
But the
Yes,
thing was like
iniwan na.
I think that was like yeah, that was the case. I was literally left here because iniwan ako eh.
You were, yes, yes,
She went to
yes.
Japan, and
Physically, and maybe later
yeah,
emotionally,
and we were
right?
together for like what 4 years, like straight, and we were always together every day. And for that person to disappear just like that, boom, she's far. There weren't any smartphones yet. Internet was a thing, but we didn't have like
Yeah, it
fast
was like
internet
you
back
could
then.
chat
So we sent the
regularly.
emails and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. No
It was so
Zoom,
difficult.
nothing.
So when
Yeah,
she left, it was like the end of the world for me because it would seem like she just disappeared, and she literally just left me, but we were still okay at that point. But then it also came to that point where like also the love I think disappeared, like everything just disappeared because I think she was here for a long time, and I think she was already seeing someone else. So when that song
but
was
you have to
playing out
agree
on
with
the
me.
radio one time,
It
that
was
really
it was
hurts.
easier for her than for you. Now I know people are gonna disagree.
That's what they
Some
say.
people
Yun
are
ang
gonna
sinasabi nila.
disagree, but
Pag kung
no.
sino yung umalis, mas madali.
Yung
Kasi
nang,
when you go
yes,
somewhere, everything's new.
it's new.
Like,
It's
everything's
new. Yes,
new.
yes,
You're
yes. You're
curious.
excited.
You're
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
wow, excited and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Holy
Pero
crap.
pero
So,
bakit sa song ni Willie Garte, it's the wife who cheated? Because napakasakit Kuya Eddie. It's like this guy was an OFW. He went overseas, left it. Like how, diba? And then when he
but then
came
we don't
back,
really
like,
know the other
you
side of the
know,
story. For all we know, that guy too already had like a girlfriend there. Yeah? He was
yeah,
also
probably
like
brought
doing
back
hanky
STD
panky
or
there,
something.
but when he
Yeah.
came back and he found out that
No, but
the wife was
that's
also doing
usually
it, I mean, come on.
But that's usually the story, right? That's usually the story you hear. It's like when the guy leave. No, no. I think the difference here is when a guy does hanky panky, he doesn't get emotionally attached. Like he can bed
That
like
come on.
Colombian women, Russian women will board the ship, but the wife, once she lets the neighbor in, once she lets this guy in, that's it. I mean, like she's leaving you. Like a
But
guy
that's kind
won't
of
leave
unfair
his
too,
wife for like
right?
a
I mean,
Russian
if you're gonna argue
prostitute. You know
it
what I'm
that way, you're
saying?
just gonna like, oh, it's just sex, whatever. I mean, but that would be
Yeah.
unfair to them as well, right? Because they'd be like, well, to you it's just sex, but to me it's like it's a really different like for because for them, if they actually have sex with someone, that means
You know,
they've
that's
already
right.
fallen
Yeah,
for
that's a
someone,
different argument
right?
altogether. That's a different argument
Right.
altogether.
But
You're right. Yeah, it's a different argument altogether.
it could be
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you're
things
right.
would happen because of like for a certain reaction, there's an
Yeah.
opposite and equal
Pero
reaction. So
but do you agree? Do you agree that you think it's harder, it's more painful para sa iniwan kung saan ka iniwan than yung umalis para sa, like
I would say
because
that it's more difficult for someone who's yung iniwan because
left
in
behind,
my
yeah.
case it was very difficult for me because I wasn't busy when she left and she came to Japan. She had a new job and she met new people and her job was like very demanding and she was busy. She was very busy.
Yes. She
So
didn't have
there's
time.
a
She didn't
lot of
have
things.
time to
Yeah, so
think
she
and
didn't have time
whatever.
to think about me, think about like the loneliness and whatnot. But in my case, I was like I was stuck in the same place going to the same places that we used to go and like the restaurants we used to eat, the fast food that we used to
Seeing the
hang out
same people
at.
who you would hang
Yeah,
out with together.
exactly. And I would
Uh,
go to school and I'd remember all
that's
those
true.
spots that we used to hang out at. So it's kind of like it was so very difficult. It was terrible.
That's true. That's true. That's true. All right, that's true. Well, okay, let's try to find out about Gab's story because Gabby says he's laging siyang iniiwan. Now, Gab,
All right, yeah, hang on.
you know,
Like, but most of the
yeah,
time,
go,
let's
go,
have
go,
V first. I enjoy leaving
go.
someone hanging. You're cruel, Cruella V. All right, okay. So Gabby was like, okay, let's go back to Gabby.
Yeah,
V,
laging
you're a
siya yung laging
Cruella,
iniiwan. Well, you know what,
right?
Gab, you can change the status quo. You can always just like leave. I mean, like like a
Right.
day into the relationship, like for a change, ako naman manghiwan just for the heck of it. Like I mean, just to know how it feels like to be the one. But it's not. I don't find any
Okay, so
joy in getting
true,
out of a
true. But
relationship.
Gabby,
I really
just
don't.
just curious, out of curiosity, how many people have left you already? Like you're saying, like palagi kang iniwan. So how many people are we talking about here? We're talking about
Yeah,
like two,
and and
three,
and
more than
and what were the
five?
reasons? I mean, what were the
Yeah. What
reasons?
were the
Like, how far
reasons?
was it? How far was it into the relationship? I mean, you know, uh, just don't get yourself friend zone, man. That's all I'm saying. It's like if you don't want that feeling, just don't get yourself friend zone. Otherwise, if you're
Here's
okay, then
here's here's a smart
okay,
guy. Here's a smart
yeah,
guy.
leave before you get left behind. I guess he has a Joe Boy's got a point. It's like you should be able to take a hint. You should be able to take a hint. Um, you should be able, but then again, don't jump the gun too early because she might not actually be wanting to leave you. She might just be, you might be like, oh, we have to talk about something, and you're like, oh, break na tayo, break na, break na. No, I was just gonna ask you
You
what
should be
dinner
like,
we're gonna have
what?
tonight.
And you're so
Masyadong advance
paranoid
mag-isip.
because you're dealing with your mental issues, and you thought that she was gonna leave. You know, like, "Ah, okay, break na tayo, buisit."
Alam ko, may lalaki ka, alam ko. Alam ko, tatlo sila. Tinuhog ka, pinagtulungan ka, gangbang, all that stuff. You'd be like, huh? I just wanted to know what you wanted for dinner. Ganun
All
ba?
right,
I
David,
mean,
congratulations, second dose, for his
yay.
for a Corona. Yeah. All right, we're talking about
Yeah.
what was
Yeah,
the
leave
topic
her
again?
after you get what you want.
Yeah,
The
which is more
heck,
painful,
man.
ang iniwan o ng iwan? All right, so all right, let's have okay. Jepoy was saying something. Leave her
Yeah.
after you get what you want. Oh, this guy, Jepoy. Oh, Jepoy.
Jepoy, iniwan ka na rin, di ba? Oh, alam mo yan, nangiwan ka na at iniwan ka na rin. So, which one is more painful for you? Ang mag-iwan?
Yes.
Like I stated earlier, I'd rather be na ako na iniwan. Not that I would want it, but I think it's hard pag ikaw yung nang iwan It's like I don't know. You feel like yeah, but depends in the relationship. CJ says sakit ng long distance relationship. Okay. Okay, well, let's talk about like a long distance relationship. Let's say let's have a situation here where there's a guy and there's a girl. There's a girl. The girl has to work overseas. She's
Mhm.
gonna be there. She has a 5-year contract. She can't come
Right.
home for 5 years. You can't necessarily just follow her either because it's not one of those countries that you can just go to and get a visa or whatever, right? Now, how would you deal with that? Like, you still like each other, you still, are you gonna fight it out and honestly say, if you, because Iceman's been through that, and he will probably advise you against that. um Heck, my dad advised against my wife going to the States for vacation, just because we were going to be apart for like a few months. My dad's like, my dad's like, you should go together. I'm like, we can't afford to go together. It's just to go. But I guess, like, my dad's speaking from experience as well. Like, he's kind of like what happened with him and my mom. Like, they lived apart, and I guess grew apart. So what would be your take on that? Like, should the guy or the girl, should they break up before the girl leaves and kind of make it easier on each other to explore their options, or should they make each other like promise or commit to one another, in
Okay,
spite of the
here's the thing.
possible
Here's the
five
thing.
years that they won't be seeing each other? Like, that's tough, man,
Okay,
diba? It's tough.
okay, it is very tough. I've been in that situation. Now, breaking up is also I'm against that as well. Like, all right, okay, I'm leaving, or if the girl's leaving and going somewhere really far, and I know, like it's just logical that okay, we might as well like break up so that um, we won't hurt each other somewhere along the way, and that would be more that would be terrible if that happens, and most
Yeah.
likely it will
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, at least you tried. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, that's part of the relationship. If in case
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhere along the way, somewhere along in that 5 years, like you
Yeah.
broke up or whatever, well, it's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, that's part of it. Like you go through it. I mean, the pain, the suffering, um, probably some good times as well, because there will be good times regardless, even if you're
Yeah.
like not together. Um, but then when you feel that that time has come to actually just like you know just get out of it or just like end it, then you just end it. Like, no need to end it
But
abruptly, because you're still like in
yeah.
that sort of like zone. You still love each
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
and you don't really know if you can make
Yeah.
it or not. If you can make it, then
Yeah.
wow. Then if you can't, then you
Yeah.
can't. It's just like,
Well,
but at least you went
the
through
the
it. You went through the
the
process.
downside to that is, the tough side to that is, like, different people kind of like have different, like, patience for situations like that. So what if, let's say, because it's happened to me. Yeah, I had a girlfriend who was an exchange student, and she left for the States, and I was like promising her that, yeah, I'll go see you, I'll stop school, I'll go to my dad's. My dad was in Germany. It's like, I'll go to my dad, I'll get a US visa, I'll follow you. It's like I was talking like I was 21 years old. I was talking like I knew everything. So she left to go back to the US, obviously, because she was just an exchange student. She was only here for 1 year to like go to high school.
Yeah, but you were together for
When she
what?
left,
1 year? So, I
we
mean, yeah.
no, well,
All right. Okay.
about a year. But we
Right.
so we kept in, but I mean, she was the one who kept in contact, and she would write me and email me. And I did not have access. I didn't have internet at home at the time. I had to ask a girl who I was courting at the time to print out her emails and bring it to me. But what happened was, it's not that I was like seeing another girl, and it's not like I didn't like her anymore. It's just like I got tired. I could not commit to the commitment of communicating. I was never good with just continuously writing letters, and she would send me like mixtapes. She would send me voice tapes regularly. She sent me a subscription to a magazine, I
Mhm.
didn't even know about. So she was really into it. She's into that stuff. Like I said, there are people who are good at writing. There are people who are good at long distance. They can manage it. I was not. I was not good at it. So she obviously got tired of not getting a regular letter from me. She broke up with me through a letter, and it wasn't because she found another guy, and it wasn't because I she felt like I found another girl. It was more of like she needed the assurance that I was still along for the ride. That I was still there's still something to expect. I mean, it goes beyond that. I actually went to Germany, and we actually like saw each other there and all that stuff. But it went beyond that. So it just, she couldn't take it anymore. That she was willing to invest. She was willing to set aside, her plans. She wouldn't see other people, but she needed reassurance. And I think some people are weaker and not that good. Not necessarily that they'll fall for another, but that they can't commit to the requirements of a long distance relationship. Like, for example, ngayon, right? Meron ng Zoom, meron ng FaceTime. I'm sure regularly before you go to bed, siguro your girlfriend will ask you, okay, FaceTime tayo 5 minutes before we go to bed. And you can't even do that. See, Jetboy even knows. He still has a picture of that girl because Jetboy knows that girl too.
Why?
Jetboy knows half the
Why
girls
would you
that did.
say that, Jepoy? Why would you know that? I mean, why would you say that? I mean,
Because that girl's rotary
I know,
friend also be
but this
friend.
is live right here. We're streaming, and somebody's listening, and you do not know what the reaction would be. Nandun pa pala yung picture, ah. Ipapunit
I
mo
still
nga.
have a.
Sunugin na yun.
No, it's fine.
Oh,
It's fine.
Jepoy.
It's in the past. I mean, I'm lucky to be married to a woman who's very open minded. She knows. I mean, she has a past too, man. Come on.
It's
What is
okay.
she
Oh,
talking
it's
about?
okay. It's all in the
I
past,
mean,
and like
yeah.
you look,
I mean, her
you look
her
on the
past,
strategy.
her past, dude, 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 her past is like her neighbor. What are you talking about?
Oh,
I mean,
the
that's what
guy's
I'm
not a
saying.
threat.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm,
clearly.
that's like, okay, all right. Well, thanks for the confidence, my friend. Thanks for the confidence. But yeah, I mean, whether it's a threat or not, that's not my problem. That's my wife's problem. She'll have to deal with that. So, anyways, tagal na yon. That's right. Tagal na yon. Wala pa tayong boot nun. But what I'm saying is, you're right,
Dude, you're
Ice. You're right.
21. What are you talking about?
You're right. You're right, Ice. When you said that when you go on a long distance relationship, may agreement kayo, you should at least fight for it. You should at least try it. Because it's, rather than like paghiwalay nyo, wala na. Parang it's like, this is
Right.
it. Diba?
I
I mean,
know. Yeah, I mean, you
how
just
many
gave up. You just gave up.
yeah. At least
It's like, all right,
malapaglaban nyo.
no, just give up.
Kaya lang kawawa yung naglaban.
But then, I
And then
mean,
the other one, like
that's
all
the
of a sudden when
beauty
the
of
girl leaves, wala
relationships.
na. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's kind of like if you think about it, like, all right, it's you know what those things that I went through. If I look back, I'm like, no, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, those were, you have to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? Like there are good
Yeah.
times and there are bad times, and with all with the pain that I went through, I think it was worth it with the good times that I had with those people. So I think you just have to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you just have to like go through it, and I mean, for the most part, we will turn out just fine. I mean, we're all fine right now,
Yeah.
right? I mean, except the
Yeah.
pandemic, and like this pandemic gave everybody like mental issues and whatever. But back then, I think we always go through a heartbreak, a breakup, or whatever, and we always come out
Think of a
fine.
movie. Think of a movie that's like that, where I'm trying to think of a movie where they went their separate ways and then parang bitin and then like they saw each other
Dude,
and
the
it's like they have
Notebook. What are
different
you
lives
talking
already
about? The
and then
Notebook. The
is that what that was?
Notebook.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
that's what it's
exact
about. That's
story
what
of
that's
the
about,
Notebook.
right?
They were
So
together,
so
then
so
they
they
were
still
like
loved each other.
separated. Yes, and the
Did
girl
they get
came
married to
back,
other
and they were like,
people?
boom.
Did they get married? Did they get married to other people?
Well, I think who was engaged to someone. I think the girl was engaged to somebody else. I think that was the
Yeah,
story there.
like this like military like officer guy, whatever guy, right? Like I don't know, something
I
like that.
think
I don't
so.
remember,
Or somebody who's
but yeah,
rich
you're
or
right. The
whatever.
Notebook, the Notebook. Yeah, no, the guy was rich, and the
Okay,
guy
the Notebook
initially wasn't
serendipity. What are you talking about serendipity?
okay. See, that's why I asked you because I know you know your movies. So Serendipity, The Notebook. Did they always end up together? But
Yeah,
Serendipity, they weren't really together. They just met, right?
yeah, but
They weren't
then they
really.
they met and they were like hoping that they would actually like hook up, but then because
Yeah.
something's like something happened, uh
Before sunrise, wasn't that the same thing?
yeah,
Before
before
sunrise, after
sunrise, before
something,
sun yeah,
they
before
they just like
sunrise,
spent a
before
whole day.
sunset. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like there's like
Yeah. There's
three
another
movies
one.
like that. That was
They
like
got
a
married, right?
trilogy. I
500
think they
Days of
got married.
Summer. 500 Days of Summer. Did
That's
they
interesting too. I saw that movie.
and then they saw each other again? And then they saw each other
Um,
again? Is that what happened
no,
in
I think
500
it
Days
was
of
the
Summer?
guy who was
They
like, "Oh,
were
I had 500 days of summer," and I think Summer left him.
I
I think
know,
that was
I
the
know, I know, I
story,
know.
and that
She
was
did,
like
she did,
terrible.
she did. She was like, she still could make up her mind or something like that, right? Like she didn't know what she
Right.
wanted still. And then he met a girl at the interview or something later. So it was all good for him. But yeah, but I think long distance relationships, based on my personal experience, I guess I'm not very good at it. But I guess it's different when
Yes,
you're
Joboy, the guy
married,
got left.
obviously. Yeah,
Too
I got left
bad.
behind. Pag girlfriend, boyfriend lang, mahirap. But in this day and age, with Zoom, with FaceTime, with Facebook, with all that stuff, with all the conveniences you have, and people don't really rely on communication that much nowadays. I realize, like, nagtatalababad
Mhm.
pa ba mga tao ngayon, right?
No,
Come on,
nobody wants
you
to
talk
talk
to your
anymore. Just
right,
everybody just wants
right.
to like send messages.
Exactly. Like even when I was in the States, like I wouldn't talk to I wouldn't be on FaceTime with my wife for like an hour. Like people just are just not that good with communicating anymore. It's not a big deal.
No,
So I
no.
think I think long distance relationships can survive in this day and age because people don't really require or demand that much if they're partners anymore. Na lahat dapat nag-uusap tayo ng 5 oras kada gabi. No, it doesn't matter. Gab says, my last relationship of 2 years left me for someone who lives nearby. This was during the ECQ days. Oh, did she ever state the reason, Gab? I mean, at
Yes.
least
What was
man
the
lang you
reason?
have a
Did
basis
she,
for,
did
yeah.
you get bored or something?
What was
All
that
right.
about?
Okay.
Were you too nice?
Cheryl Lee said something about like, I can't really relate since he is my first and last, and hopefully last. But I have a friend who caught her hubby red-handed, which forced her to leave him. So sad. All right. Okay. All right. So your friend left someone. So, well, how's your friend? Is she okay? She happy? Or what? Like, I'm
Okay,
pretty sure she's
that
happy.
that's a good statement. Let's pick up from that, Ice. What if you catch your partner na nanloko, or they were cheated on you? Of
Mm-hmm.
course, you have to muster enough courage to everybody's telling you iwanan mo na yan. Whether you're the guy or whether you're the girl, but you're the victim, all right? Iwanan mo na yan. Now,
Are
yeah,
you the
iiwanan
victim
mo,
or
but
playing the
it's gonna be
victim?
painful. It's gonna be painful, right?
All right.
It's still gonna be painful because you're gonna let that person go for one wrong act, and basically you're also saying goodbye to all the good things that came with that relationship because of that one bad thing. And that's hard, man. I mean, I think,
Okay.
I
I
think
think
it's hard,
that's
even if it's the right thing to
so.
do.
What's the question here? Would you leave that person?
The question is, yeah, the question here is, sinong mas masasaktan, right? Siyempre, yung nakipaghiwalay
Well, I
dahil
think both. I
niloko,
think both.
or yung hiniwalayan dahil nahuli, nagkamali.
I
Even if
think
like
both,
it's the,
man. I
yeah,
think both. Like for example, okay, there's this perennial cheater guy, right? So he's a cheater.
yeah,
He cheats all the time, and you would think that he'll never get hurt, but he's
yeah,
doing that because he thinks that no way that she can do that
yeah,
thing
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah,
For the most part, these guys who are doing this, they kind of like sort of abuse their partners in a way. They'd be like, I mean,
yeah,
not physically abuse, but they would verbally abuse them, like like
yeah,
tell them stuff like, oh, I mean, if it's a guy, it's fine. But if it's a woman, no, you're a mother. You can't do that. No, it's really
yeah,
different.
yeah,
If it's
yeah,
the girl who's cheating, blah blah. They would they would give all these types of narratives, like just to
yeah,
these sexist things, and they would say that to their
yeah,
partners, and
yeah,
that gives them more confidence that no, she's not gonna do it because I've been brainwashing her that if she does that, she's a terrible person. She's a slut. She's whatever. You would like call her names or whatnot. So
yeah,
that 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 person would be like, all right, I'm cool. But then when that thing happens, when that woman finally realizes that, oh, this is not cool, this is BS, I'm just gonna leave you then that guy would start like crying, like, okay, case
yeah.
in
He
point,
would freak
when
out.
you tried, I mean, you didn't abuse someone or whatever, but it was sort of like a little bit similar when you did that. Like she gave you like
Yes,
what 2 weeks and whatever, and then when
2
she
weeks.
finally
Yeah, it
decided
happened
to
to
like,
me.
yeah, right.
Exactly
So
happened to
she
me. It
decided
happened
to
to
like,
me.
no, I'm done with that. Like I'm
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
entertain this other guy.
I
And
think
it was
it wasn't more of like I was telling her that if you see other, I think it was more of like she gave everything to me. And
yeah, I know,
back in
right?
the day, women are like that. Like pag binigay nila lahat, parang di na nila pwedeng iwanan yung
Right.
text. It's like
So
wala na. There's nothing. She imposed that upon herself. I did not
right. So
impose.
I
Like
mean,
I didn't make her
still,
feel.
but but you were hurt because when she started like
Of
dating
course,
some other guy,
yes,
you got hurt.
yes, yes.
So I
I
think
was
if
getting a dose of my own medicine. Yeah,
right, so I think that person is like you see him and you're like probably like, no, he's not gonna get hurt. Like he does that all the time. He probably has like what 2 3 girlfriends right now. But then when that happens,
yeah,
I think that would
yeah.
still be painful for him because it will be a double whammy because that guy would be thinking like, oh, I thought
Super.
she couldn't do that, but
She
then
could
she
never
just
do this
left
to
me.
me. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah, yeah,
she looks at those women that like that he's with right now, and he'd be like,
yeah,
"Oh, they're
yeah.
not the one I want. I think I like her, better, or I like her more." So that
Yes.
yeah, so that comes into play, and yeah, that can be really painful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, it's like you can't live without her. That's basically it. You can
No,
live
Joe
without
boy, it
these other
didn't
women,
happen
but you
to me.
can't
It
live.
happened to Rod. What are you talking about?
Yeah, basically, it was like way, way back, younger days. I had a girlfriend, my first serious girlfriend, and we were together for like almost two
but
years.
but
She
similar
caught
though. I
me
mean,
with,
yeah, right.
yeah, similar,
Totally right.
similar. She caught me cheating, and then I told her to let me off the
But
hook
she
and
was
let
cool
me
about
just
it. Yeah, she was cool
she
about it. Yes, when she caught
she,
you.
dude, she was freaking out, man. She was freaking
I
out,
thought
but
she
it's
was
like
cool about it. I
it's
thought she was just like, all right, I'll give you 2 weeks and that's it. But she
No,
was
no, no.
freaking
Because
out.
no, no. She freaked out because I was like, I was kind of like, yeah, I guess you're right. I was giving her that talk where I was like, I might have to let you go so I can try this one. If that what you want, it's kind of like that. It's like she was given that situation.
Ooh.
So I was like, I
Same
was
talk
that
again.
confident.
Same
I
talk
was
again.
that confident. I was that confident. I was like, I might have to
We
let you
were that
go.
confident.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so if you don't let me try this, I might have we'll just have to let each other go and then I'll try it. Or we can still be together and I'll just try it. And then I'll come back to you and we're still together. It's like, obviously she didn't want to break up. But I was stupid. It's like I don't know. You do stuff in your past and I'm just lucky that I got to be the bad guy and I got to be the victim. And we both of us, Ice and myself, we both been on both ends, on both sides of the fence. So we really like kind of appreciate certain things that maybe some guys who are not haven't gone through as much would appreciate or recognize. But long distance relationship, man, I'm not very good at that. I can honestly say. But in marriage, I'm good because it kind of I know there's a home to come home to. She found out that they have been living together for months, according to Cheryl. Before she found out, I told her it really depends on her. They are married. Okay, so she's talking about the whatever person leaving, right? Okay, what is this about? Continuation of Lay. She found out that they have been living together. Okay. CJ says past 2 years I've been shit honestly, love life, and even in the home. Yeah, see, just don't take everything seriously, man. At your age, what are you, 15? You're come on. Like, did you take life seriously, Ice, at 15?
No.
Yeah,
What are you
we like
talking
it's a
about?
blur. We're like, look at us, CJ. Come on. We still
15?
don't take life seriously. We
I
still
think
don't take life seriously. Look at
t-
us.
14 years old. I was thrown out of the house. I slept at a park.
Yeah. CJ, come on. I mean, he says I'm forced to these days. He says
It's got to
love
be
life
cool,
and
man.
even in
But
the home.
it's got to be cool. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
not thrown
A
out.
lot of
You were not
experiences.
thrown out of your house. I was thrown out of my house, and I was threatened by
Yeah.
my father. I mean, now if
Yeah.
I mean that time, if I reported him to the police, and if the laws apply now, he'd probably be in jail. He just like beat me up. He threw me out of the house. He threatened me not to go to my grandma because if he sees me there, he's gonna beat me up more. So I mean, that's why I ended up like sleeping at Russell Park for at least one night. It was kind of dangerous because I was there trying to get a spot at the Russell Park stage, and there were like kids there who were like, "Hey, get out of here! This is not your spot. Get out!" I'm like, "What the heck? It's just a spot. Nah, get out of here!" I'm like, all right, fine, fine.
You're like, who
I'm
you
out of
were?
here.
You were Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone too, walking around Central Park. That's basically who you were, man. That's who
Yeah,
you were.
but in
That's
Central
basically
Park
it.
there were no mosquitoes.
Macaulay
Thank
Culkin.
God I didn't get dengue
Yeah, but
there. Holy crap!
yeah, that's true.
Or
That's true.
malaria for
That's
that
true.
matter. Oh my
CJ says
goodness.
14-year-old Ice would probably be the coolest guy I would know. I don't know. Would you
No,
have been
that was
very
so
cool
cool,
at
man.
14, Ice?
Sleeping at Result Park with all those mosquitoes ain't cool, CJ. Telling
Yeah,
you that right now.
yeah,
But all right, okay.
yeah. Yeah.
I think I read something from my aunt. All right, okay. Something to do with the topic. It's all right. Here it is.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It's better na malaman mo totoo ugali niya ng maaga kaysa tatagal pa. Basta siya. It's his loss, not mine. All right. Okay. My aunt
Okay.
went through the same thing. When she was
So
she like this guy just
okay.
left her for dead, man. Like literally, like okay. We didn't like the guy, right? She was dating this guy. We didn't like him. I think he was an
Yeah, yeah.
ass, like we didn't really like him. And he would like come to our house or my grandma's house and he would be there. And he wasn't even nice to us. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even nice to us. We were
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
then. He wasn't even nice to us. So we
Yeah.
hated the guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
fine, cool. My tita likes him, so whatever. Then all of a sudden one day I came from I think I came from school. I was in uni at that point. I was courting my wife that time, and I usually use her phone because like we didn't have a
Yeah.
phone then, so I would use my auntie's phone. So, but then when I got home, my tita was there on the phone, and she was crying. I was like, "What the f is going on here? Why the heck is my tita crying?" So I was like really pissed. Why is she crying? And I'm like, I'm pissed because she's crying, And secondly, I can't use the phone, so I'm more pissed.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't
Yeah, yeah,
call.
yeah.
I can't call
Yeah,
my
yeah,
my one I'm courting.
yeah.
So I'm like more pissed. Like, what's going on here? And I
Yeah,
found out
yeah.
that the guy was actually like double two timing her. 'Cause all
Okay.
right, they're not they don't work there anymore. But the thing is, okay, she had a friend who works for PLDT, and
Okay.
she did that thing that like you would like hook up someone and you could hear the conversation
You could tap, yeah,
of
you could tap the thing,
yeah, you
yeah.
can tap, yeah. So, but yeah, but they're not working there anymore. So like, that's fine. But then
Yeah. Keep
her
talking,
friend
keep
did
talking.
that.
Yeah.
So she found out about it that like that guy was talking to the ex girlfriend. He
Yeah.
wasn't showing up anymore. I think for about like he
Yeah.
wasn't around for 2-3 weeks. So usually he would be
Mm-hmm.
there all the time, but then all of a sudden, like for 3 weeks, no calls, no talk, and they have like that two-way radio. He's not there
Mm-hmm.
too. So my auntie
Yeah.
would be
The
like, like
ICOM,
yeah,
breaker
yeah, the
breaker.
icon, right? So breaker. My auntie would like do that, but then he's not there. So my auntie was like suspicious. So at some point she asked for a favor, and her friend was like, "All right, we'll check it out." And then she heard it. She heard all the things that they were talking about. So that was like really painful. Yeah,
Oh man.
that's like effing crazy. So she got really like hurt, and I think she called the guy, and they were talking. She was like crying, and I was like,
Cheetos.
God damn. So I'm like, whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get all the coins for like my auntie was like running a store at that time. So I just like took all the coins in her drawer and I went
Oh
to
jeez.
Victoria Plaza because I have to like call my the one I'm courting, my wife. So I was like talking to her. It's like, oh, my auntie's crying. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I think that guy
Mm-hmm.
like just like did something. And dude, I mean, so it was confirmed that like he was trying to get back with the ex. So my auntie was like, so I thought because my aunt is really pretty, like she was like the Carmina Villarreal of their of their batch. And that
Wow. All
guy's not
right.
even good looking. That guy's not even good looking.
No.
I'm telling you, that guy
That
wasn't
guy
even good looking.
that guy wasn't Rostom or Zoran, right?
No, no, he wasn't. Not even close. So I was like, all right. So I'm pretty sure my auntie would be okay. She'd be fine. But dude, she wasn't. She was like, chasing after the guy. So I was more pissed because I have to go with her. Me and my other brother, like
Yeah.
one in Canada. So we have to go with her. Then we would like do some groceries for her store. And then she
Mm-hmm.
would like, all right, let's go to Dunkin' Donuts because let's buy him donuts because he likes donuts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the heck are you buying this guy a donut? Like in my head, I'm
Yeah.
already like stabbing the guy, or I'm like
Yeah.
just whacking him with a pipe or something. Like that's in my head,
Yeah. Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every time we go to their place, I'm like, oh, this guy. If I'm just big enough, I'm like just whack this guy. I'm just gonna beat him up or whatever. I'm like all those things in my head. I'm like, oh, you can't do anything about it because your auntie's like head over heels for him still.
In love,
So
yeah.
I think it took
Yeah.
it was a while, man. So I think that's yeah. So I think it's his loss, not hers, in the long run. But yeah, I think that's just like, oh, that was like, oh man,
I mean,
those were the
yeah,
days. I
if you
remember.
get out of a situation that's gonna spare you from further heartache, then whether it's painful or not, at least you have that to look forward to. Na parang, at least I was spared of that. But if you're leaving something that you still love, and you're like doing it because like maybe, like I said, the parents are against you, nagkakagulo-gulo na yung mundo. See a lot of Filipino movies like Romeo and Juliet. I like Romeo and Juliet. I mean, the oldest, like not probably not the oldest, but probably the most famous love tragedy of all time. Romeo and Juliet.
Mhm.
They were so in love with each other, but their parents were so against each other. It's like literally like these are warring families. And they just it became a tragedy. So it's kind of that's very difficult that they would have to break up or separate. May iniwan at may nang iwan, but they're both kind of hurting in this sense. So yeah, but the question is, what's more painful, iniwan or nang iwan? Gab, whack him with a pipe. Hey, that's it's close to home. I can relate to that. But Gab doesn't know
Yeah,
about that.
right, yeah. Well, yeah, Gab. Well,
Well,
yeah. I mean, that's like that's you like, being like furious because like you see your auntie like crying, and like this guy was like playing it cool. I'm like, the heck. I mean, those things that place in your head. I didn't actually do it. I mean, like, but the thing was like I was
okay.
like pissed. But then eventually my auntie
Nang,
just
nang,
like forgot about him, and
nang iwan or iniwan? What's more painful for you, Ice? If you could choose one.
um, all right. I think it's always the anyone. I think it's. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it's always the anyone who would have more pain and more misery. But in the long run, it's guilt free for them because like right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done some stuff right, and I look back, I would be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And me, a part of me, like I told you, a part of me wants to like talk to these people, or to these ladies, and apologize. I mean, I don't think there's a like well there I believe there's a need for an apology, but maybe I'm looking at them and probably they would be like, no, there's no need for an apology. I'm happy now because I'm pretty sure they're happy with their lives right now, right? So I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that they would need that from me, or it would probably just send the wrong signals that oh, is his marriage in trouble? Is he like having problems? Why is he reaching out to me? Why is he trying to talk to me? I mean, no, it's nothing like that. I just want to apologize because from
Yeah.
time to
Yeah.
time you like look back and I feel a little bit guilty. I'm like, oh crap, that was a dick move. Like you have that, like you have those thoughts in your head and I'm like, oh crap, why did I do that? Oh man, that's like low. Oh, low, even for you. I mean, like you talk to yourself and you're like, oh man. So yeah, in a way, it's also in the long run for the people who just like left someone it would be more like you'll have that I don't know if, I mean I'm not speaking for everybody here but at least I had that like sort of guilt.
Is it? It's different from. This is different from being dumped or dumping, right? Or it's almost the same thing, right? It's like
Well, it's almost the
ikaw
same
yung
thing. It's like
because I
iniwan and
mean,
iwan dump
I don't think
dump
I'm trying to think if I ever
dumping
dumped a
someone.
girl. I don't think I've ever dumped. I don't think I've ever dumped
Well,
a
what's
girl.
dump? Okay, like explain dump is like
Gr-
iniwan, right? Or like when you
like break up with a girl.
turn down a person,
I don't think I've
a
ever.
break up with a
I
girl.
don't think I've ever
Okay,
broken up with a girl.
so like so
I
it's
don't
like
remember,
still
but
iniwan, so iniwan mo iniwalayan mo so iniwan mo.
yeah, I don't think I've ever broken up with a girl. Like siguro naliligaw tapos biglang nawala. Yeah, I've done that, but that's not dumping. It's like hindi pa naman kami. I don't think I ever broken up with a girl. I think there's a girl out there who can say, "Break pa ako ni Rad." No, but I've been dumped by a girl. I've had a girl break up with me. I've had a girl deny that naging kami. I mean, I've had all of that stuff. That's kind of hard. I'm trying to recall. There was one time. There's this girl who she was still in high school, and I was like, it became us. And then she's in high school, atid sundo, so nothing could come to fruition. I couldn't even hold her hands. I couldn't kiss or any of that stuff. So it was obviously very bitin, right? I was like, dang it. So obviously she kind of like grew up and everything, and she got out of high school and she was able to go out and stuff. And I was kind of like, I guess she kind of like came back into my life during that time, and more things kind of happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of realized like she's not. I don't like her as much anymore. Like maybe just during that time, yung dahil bitin lang, like just because you can't hold her hand, you can't kiss her, so you have that giggle, you have that
That
longing,
higigil.
and you have that infatuation.
Right. So when you
Yeah, you have that
finally did all
infatuation for
those
the
things,
girl.
held her hand,
Yeah, you
kissed her
realize,
like crazy, like, oh, it's not that
yeah,
fun.
you,
I thought it
yeah,
was
it's
gonna
like
be, it was gonna be, breathtaking, but no, it's not. It's not going that way.
yeah. She looked the same. She looked the same, but parang wala na. It's like but I didn't dump her. Like it was never like we never really like rekindled the relationship or anything. But it was just like, well, na. It was just like for me, it was like okay, I didn't push through. I didn't follow through. Like I would see her, and that was it. It's not like she did anything wrong, But like I said, it's like sometimes there are people that you outgrow. That's why it's always good to have closure. I have that talk. We can have this as a topic too. I had this talk with Chuck with Mao, and I always have this talk about him about closure and like if it's important to have closure with people, like like what you said, like apologizing to women or talking about what you did, and just telling them that I was young, I didn't mean for it that way, I wasn't really thinking straight. Like that's why closure is kind of important because if you don't have that, you might still have those feelings you think for a person, but then when you realize later and you have that talk or you see each other again and you try to iron things out, you realize wala na pala yon. And it's not gonna bother you anymore because it might still continually bother you. Like kasi baka feeling mo parang siya pa rin, siya dapat, or we were meant to be. And then it gets in the way of your marriage, it gets in the way of your relationship because you're constantly thinking about that other person and the wonderful memories you had. That happened to my sister. One of my sisters. She had an ex-boyfriend. The guy was Moroccan, and they were together like in Germany when she
Did you
went to
say
university
Korokan?
there. They were together. Morocco. That's us. That would be us. The guy's
That's
Moroccan.
all right.
So
All right.
he's like this tall, like good looking guy who, I don't know, probably was well endowed or something. I don't know, but my sister like was like crazy for him.
Well
And
endowed.
yeah, I'm thinking, because he mukhang totoy mole. Because I remember meeting the guy. I remember meeting the
Totoy
guy,
mola.
and my sister was always blooming with him. And then obviously, they separated. My sister graduated. My sister went to the States. She's happy now. She's married and all that stuff. And there was an issue. There was an issue in their marriage. Where it kind of like became a thing. Like this guy kind of came back into her life, and all of us in the family were like telling her against it. Like, are you crazy? You're gonna give up this happy whatever you have, and like, it's like, oh, he's different. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? You're stuck in the past. Basically, you're still fantasizing about the you back then, the him back then, the situation you were in back then. All
Back
right.
then.
Now,
Right.
if you apply all of those, yeah, if you apply all of those things in the now, I mean, how certain are you that that everything will still fall into place? I mean, like I said, there are people that come into your life and their sole role is to be the ex-girlfriend. Their sole role is to be the ex-boyfriend. That's the role. Once you go black, he wasn't black. He was Moroccan. Moroccans kind of
You
are
go
like
black. You never
fair.
come.
They kind of look Turkish,
That's not racist, right?
Yeah, yes, 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 yes. Exactly. My sister went through that sex life in Netflix.
Sex life in
Exactly.
Netflix. Okay, the
Sex life
same
in
thing.
That's the one.
Are you sure that's not the story
Exactly.
of your
A
sister?
guy
Maybe
from her past.
they paid her for that.
It could be. It could be. But exactly. I mean, I think a lot of guys have that fear about their wives. Like
But
maybe
who
she had like
knows
this
if
incredible.
that person
Maybe she
brings
had
out
this
the devil
incredible
in you,
ex.
so to speak. I mean, if that person brings out the
Okay.
in you, I mean, come on, man,
Have
what's
you
up
had
to
have you,
like?
have you had a woman bring out? Have you had a woman bring out the devil in your eyes?
Are you kidding me? I'm the devil, regardless of who.
Okay, there you go. They don't have
Doesn't
that
matter.
problem, right? You don't have that problem. I know you don't have that,
I'm the
you don't have that
devil.
problem.
You know me.
You don't have that problem then.
I, I, I let them see their devil side. I bring it out from them. That's what I do. I'm Lucifer in a way. Like, come on.
I mean, I'm not like that, man. I'm like reactive. Like if I'm with a tame woman, I'm her. If I'm with a wild woman, I'm like, I'm kind of like, yeah, it depends. I guess I react. We can't both be wild, man. I guess you can be both be wild,
Born to be
but I don't know.
wild.
We can both be wild, but you cannot both be tame, right?
That's true.
Nothing will
That's
happen
true.
if you're both tame.
That's
Nothing
true.
will happen.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
I mean,
Y-
I mean, the story of your sister, sex. Was that sex life in Netflix? I mean,
Like yeah,
dude. I mean, that can happen.
exactly,
That can really
exactly,
happen. But
exactly.
it
So she
doesn't
was
mean
like,
that everything
see,
has to end. Like I don't know how
her,
this.
her,
Yeah.
her
All right.
marriage
Okay.
was threatened. Her marriage was threatened. She was thinking about going to Paris to see the guy because the guy was based in Paris already. She was thinking about going to Paris to see the guy. I'm like,
Well,
what?
just see the guy, then come back. What the heck? It's fine.
Are you
Come on, go see
are
the
you
guy, then
kidding
come back.
me? Like her
What?
husband? Oh, you leave her husband or
Well, did she ask her husband?
my
Maybe her
my
husband's gonna
aunt
be. Maybe her husband's school with like
my
about that thing.
my aunt threatened her of her inheritance.
What?
The aunt.
Well,
It was it
hang on.
became that
Okay,
issue in the family. It became
I
that
know,
issue
right?
in the family.
But has she talked to the husband? Because maybe the husband would be cool about it. I mean, that's just a question. Man. I
No,
mean,
no.
that's
Everybody was calling my brother-in-law. They were all providing him support because he's
and
like, she's out of
well,
control. He's like, I can't control her.
exactly.
Like, I don't know what she wants. Like, she wants us to separate. Like, she wants us to, and my poor brother-in-law, like,
All
he's
right,
done
because maybe he
nothing
was
wrong.
holding
He's
on
just
too tight. He was holding on too tight. Okay, yeah, because yeah, I mean that would be the normal reaction. Yeah, that would be the normal reaction
I mean,
to
come
that
on,
type of
dude. Like,
situation.
if my wife's like studly ex like called her up, and they start talking on the phone, and then she starts to get excited about, oh, I'm
Okay,
getting a call from my,
okay,
and she starts talking on
yeah,
the phone again with
true,
him.
true.
How am I gonna feel, man? How am I gonna? I'm
No,
gonna be like,
I
hey,
know, of
hold on
course,
here,
because
and then
if that happens to
you
you,
like,
that would
hold
be the
on,
reaction. Of course,
that's
that would
different.
be the
That's
reaction. But it's like
if
you
it
have a
was a friend, that's
dog.
fine.
You know what I'm saying? you have a dog and they're on a leash, right? They're like, "Rah!" And
Mm-hmm.
you try to pull them, but they're gonna struggle to actually, you know, um, get away. That's what happens.
Yeah,
The more
yeah,
you hold
yeah,
on
yeah,
tight
yeah,
to them, the more they,
yeah, 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 yeah.
like they want to
No,
like break free and get away. So if you just like, all right, I'll let you go, and
yeah,
you
but
more
it's
often than not they
it's
just come
fine
back.
if she knew what she. It's fine if my sister knew what she was doing. She was just like she just had a talk with the guy several times. The guy called her up, checked up on her, found out he was still single. And all of a sudden, the guy said he was in Paris, and all of a sudden, my sister's like planning to go to Paris to see him. I'm like, I spoke to
Maybe
my
they just
sister. I'm
want.
like,
Maybe she needed a break.
I
Maybe she
mean,
needed a break,
and yeah, she probably did. She probably did. I mean, in fairness, to her, she
right?
probably did, but not with her
Right.
ex. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you can have a break, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's like it was just like
Yeah, I know, I
it
know.
was just like it was a
I
beautiful
totally get
thing.
it. Like that would be the reaction. That would be the normal reaction. That should
All
be
of
the
us, the
reaction.
family.
But then I'm thinking
But
like,
but but
sometimes
if it
these
was
people need a
over,
break. So
if
we're
it's
just like, all
over
right,
with her
go, just
husband,
go, just come.
yeah, if it's over with her husband, and we knew that there's nothing there, then why prolong the agony, right? We'd be the first to probably tell them, go ahead, have it annulled, have a divorce, whatever,
I would probably
But
talk
I
to
know my
her.
sister, man.
Right. I would probably like talk to that person. I'd be like, is this what you want? Like, I mean, what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
what are
Are
you
you are
trying
you
to get
just
out of this?
horny? I mean, are you sure you're not just horny?
And you're like,
I mean,
girl, if you're just
if
horny,
you're just
just get it out of the way. Go there and,
because sometimes
get this
like
horniness out of the way and
yeah,
then come back.
sometimes you're just horny. You think
Right.
you think you're sick of your life already, but you're actually just horny. That's it. It's like you just get that out of the way. Get. I mean, if
Yeah,
that's
but
what
then
that
the thing is like
is.
horny for that other person, not for. So it's like, all right, like go get it out of the way. Just like, like do those horny things that you want to do. Whatever. And then come back. I mean, it will fade away. It will fade away.
Hopefully, but I haven't seen Sex Life yet. But
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like
yeah.
that. It's exactly what happened to her. It's like our family was like we were all freaking out. My mom was calling me. I was calling my brother-in-law. We were all giving each other support. My sister was calling me. I called up my sister. I asked her. I told her, "Have you seen the mirror lately? Do you look at yourself in the mirror? Do you really think he still has the hots for you?" It's like, well, we still talking German. He's still blah 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 blah. He looks exactly the same. He's still so hot. I'm like, oh my god, you have one kid. You're married to a guy who's in the Navy. You're happy. I mean, I know you may not be happy, but you're settled, for crying out loud. I mean, I hope you're happy, but I mean,
Dude,
stop. Like,
you said it yourself.
dude, she was like,
She's settled, but she's not happy.
no,
Are you
no.
standing in the
Here's the
way of your
thing,
sister's happiness? Is that what you're doing?
dude. No. Here's the thing. Here's what I noticed with our conversation, though, is like she was starting to find fault in her husband. Like, and I think that's one of the things that people do when they want something and there's nothing wrong with what they have. They'll start to like point out cracks in what they have. Like, like ako, gusto kong bumili ng Yeezy, pero meron akong boost. Hindi pa sira yung boost ko. All of a sudden, sasabihin ko, yung boost, medyo masakit pag tumakbo eh. Medyo, ano kasi yung boost, to justify me buying a Yeezy. And, hey, absolutely nothing wrong
How
with that
many
if you have all the
times?
money in the world,
Right. How many times has this happened to
right?
you? Like you justifying that you need a MacBook Pro, and you were like, "All right, this MacBook Air sucks. I'm just gonna get a MacBook Pro." Did you get the MacBook Pro?
No, but the MacBook Air, something's wrong with it.
Yeah, that's why you gave it to your son because it's like it's not good enough for you anymore, right?
It's messed up, yeah.
So you give it to your son.
But
Then you got the
but
MacBook Pro. Did somebody in your family stood in the way so that you can't get the MacBook Pro? Did your wife like stand in the
no,
way
but
like, "Hey, no, don't get a MacBook Pro. Hey, hey, shut
dude,
up.
material things
Don't
are
get a MacBook
different
Pro."
from like material things are
But you're the
different
one
from
who
like a
cited the
marriage, man.
shoes. What are you
This is a
talking
marriage.
about? Like
This is
that's why you were talking
a
about
marriage.
shoes.
No,
You're the
no,
one who
because
brought
that's
up
how she
material
was
things.
made. No, it wasn't. It's not me bringing up the shoes to the level of marriage. It's her bringing down her marriage to the level of the shoes.
But it's the
There's a difference
same.
there.
I mean,
It's
yeah, but
not the
it's the
same.
same thing for no. It's the
It's
same thing
not the
for her.
same.
It's
It's
much
not the same. It's
worse
like
because that's her life we're talking about. That's the way she feels every day. Do you know how she feels every day? Maybe you know how unhappy she is. Maybe she's really unhappy. Why
you
would
know,
she do that if she's not really unhappy?
like
I'm playing the devil's
we
advocate here, all
weren't there.
right?
I no. What we were not there to like tell her if she's happy or not. We were. That's not our role. All right, that is not our role. We were
Okay,
just
okay, okay.
there to
All
be
right.
the other side of the fence. We were just there to give her a different perspective because she had blinders on, and you could tell. I mean, I know her; she's my sister. I grew up with her. I'm very close to her.
Dude,
She's a
that's
sister close
romance.
to me.
What are you like
She had
blinders?
blind.
That's romance.
She had, dude, exactly, man. But you don't talk like that when you're married and you have a kid. You don't like just jump into something like that and say, "Okay, I'm sick of this. Like I'm out of here." Like I want to go with this guy. You don't just do that. You
She
take
needed a
time.
break.
You
She
think
needed a
about it.
break.
You-
She wasn't talking
Dude,
about divorce, right?
everybody needs a break. I mean, if I needed a break,
Remember
let's
when
just go do that
Rodman?
with my
Because I was just like
ex.
watching The
Everybody
Last
needed a
Dance.
break.
Because every
He needed
person
a
has
break. I know he needed a
the
break. He needed a
yeah,
break.
he
I
needed a
know he
break. He went
left.
to
He went to
Las
Vegas.
Vegas and like he left. Then he came back. And he was like, he was really conditioned when he came back. And he helped Michael and Scotty win those championships. So maybe that's what you needed, just like a little bit of a break. Then, go to Paris. Paris is Las Vegas for her. Then she'd go there, then she'd come back.
Yeah, but it's not just about her, man. It's about hurting your husband. It's about messing up with your kid's mind. It's not, if it's
But
just
okay,
about her, that's fine. If you're just about her, go ahead. It's not
but
just
okay, because
about her, dude. It's
human
about her.
relationship is really like complex, right? So what if that happens to
It
you?
is.
One day you wake up, you're really unhappy. All right, let's say you're really unhappy, like really unhappy. There's something missing.
Of course, there
I
are
mean,
days
what will
like
you
that.
do? And you want to save your marriage. You want to save your marriage. And the only way to save your marriage is for you to go and have a break, a little bit of a break, just to get out from, just to get out from it all, and so that you can like
Yeah, I mean,
get your
if it's a
perspective
vacation, that's
straight.
one
And
thing. Yeah,
like, I mean, yeah, but yeah,
if it's a
well, vacation
if
to
it's a
be
vacation,
with
that's
like
one thing. But I mean, like reuniting with
be
my
with
ex and
someone
have
else.
torrid sex,
I mean,
that's kind of
not
different.
just
I
okay.
mean,
Let's just say like okay, not your ex, but then if you're going somewhere, and you want to have like, like you like completely off the grid, like you don't want anything to do with your family. I mean, that's like sort of kind of the same thing, like the eat,
um,
pray, and love thing, right? I mean, she
yeah,
traveled the
yeah.
world, and she did some stuff there, and well, she wasn't married and everything, but I
She
mean, that's
wasn't.
what I'm saying.
She
Like some
was, I
people
think.
might
Wasn't she?
might be needing it, like they might
Wasn't
need
she
it,
married? Wasn't she
I
married?
thought, well, was she in a relationship and it fell
Yeah,
apart?
I
I
don't.
don't know.
I
Like
don't.
I don't
I think
remember
she was
anything.
married. I think she was married to this guy, and then she fell out of
No, she
love, or
wasn't.
like
No, no,
she
no,
just woke
she
up
wasn't
and she's
married.
like, I don't like this. It's not my thing. And then she fell in love with
Right?
a young
Yeah.
artist guy, and then she
Right.
also got sick of that guy, and
Right.
then
See,
yeah, so she went to yeah, but I mean, maybe my sister just saw that movie. I don't know, but I mean, like women go through their stages. I really can't speak for them. I mean, we were not, but the bottom line here is we weren't forcing my sister to do anything. If anything, we were telling her to just be sure, because I mean, she was very impulsive about it,
sure ka na
and I
ba?
think
Game ka na ba?
she was
Game
yeah,
na.
she was very impulsive about it, and this is a decision that will dictate the rest of her life. She will go to Paris, take a chance with a guy, and totally, and not might not have a home to come back to, and like I said, if she's gonna lose one of the two, it's better for her to lose that guy than what she has. Because I mean, that's really what it boils down to. It's about which is more valuable and which one are you willing to lose. And I think if she loses that ex of hers with a big dick, or whatever it is that he has, good for him. I mean,
Wall
that's she can
endowed.
live.
Wall endowed.
She can move on from that. I mean, but if she loses her kid and her husband, I mean, come on, that's kind of harder to replace. That's not something like you just like,
All
you don't
right.
create that
Okay.
overnight. So
Okay.
that's kind of that's kind of what we were
Okay.
concerned about. But I mean,
So iniwan
it's
or ang
basically it.
iwan, which is more painful, people. All right. Gabby has been like left so many times. Right. So, dude, change the narrative
Mag-iwan
now.
ka naman for a change.
Mang-iwan ka naman, yeah.
No,
Just for the heck of
no,
it.
but
Just
you did bring out a
somebody.
strap on, and let's just say my butt hurt. What are you talking about, Siege?
No,
He
but
goes,
she did bring out a strap on, and let's just say my butt hurts. What? Where's this coming from?
what is that about? I know where's that coming from. I'm trying to retrace the conversation. Super nice movie, Eat, Pray, Love. It is nice. It is nice.
And
It's
Gabby's
a lot
telling
of
us like
American
the
women go
topic
through
really
that.
hits close to home. Well, like I mean, this is
Which
for
one?
everybody, Gabby, not just you. I mean, this topic is
Yeah.
like yeah.
Wag mo
At some
dibdibin,
point, we
bro.
were, like I've been dumped, iniwan din ako, and I think
Yeah.
Rod, yeah, was
Wag mo
was
dibdibin,
was
man.
in that
Wag mo
sort of
dibdibin.
situation. But yeah, it's normal. Like we go through this. It's life. That's what we call it, life. They go
Bring
through these
yourself
things.
out. Here's the trick, Gab. Bring yourself out of your situation. Look at the big picture, man.
All
Look at
right.
the
Okay.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Go on. Put them on.
All right. All right. Okay. Hang on.
let's be
Gab, hang
his
on.
advisor.
All right, yeah, sure. All right, okay, hang on.
Yeah, we'll put
Gab,
you on,
trying to
Gab.
find
Tell us your
you.
story.
Okay, here it is. Yeah. Ito
We'll
ba?
be your love gurus for tonight.
All right, Love Gurus. The Love Gurus.
By the way, I haven't had my dinner yet, so I'm eating my jalapeno Cheetos. Pardon me, or my dinner.
Jalapeno
My son
Cheetos.
ate all the shomai. No, my son ate all the shomai. So
I hate
all I have.
shomai. Oh man,
You hate shomai? Really?
I don't like shomai. Like
Hakaw. You like
even
hakaw?
even the beef ones. Like I don't like it. Like there's like the one with shrimps,
Oh, I
right?
don't like them. I don't like the beef one. I don't like the beef ones.
Well, what pork shomai?
But
Is it pork or I know they're like seafood shomai, yeah, like shrimp,
pork, shrimp,
pork
Japanese
shrimp.
so so. But I don't like the beef shomai. Beef
What do you
shomai
mean
is never
Japanese?
good.
Like a Japanese person in there? What are you talking about? We're talking about like pork,
No,
beef, they're all
they have
Japanese.
it like it's like wrapped with kani. It's wrapped with kani.
Oh, that's crab. All right, crab. All right.
Oh, not kani, not kani. Seaweed, seaweed.
Seaweed. All right,
What
nori.
series?
All
What
right,
series?
nori. Go, Gab. All
No.
right. Don't you have headphones, dude? I can hear
Oh,
myself.
Oh, wait.
oh. Gab, anong problema?
Yep.
Anong pwede namin matulong sa'yo? Ano?
Maghunos
Bigo
daily
na
ka.
naman?
Maghunos daily ka.
All right, how about that?
Okay, go ahead. Fire away with your questions.
I don't, um, I don't have any questions. You've already asked it, so it's like, what is it when you
Does
want
she
to know? I
actually,
guess.
does she at least give you reasons why? Like, does the girl actually
Oh
at
yeah,
least
the
give you
pre.
reasons why?
Actually, no. Because she was pretty guilty about it when I asked her. She was like, she couldn't say anything, so I can say, so I can think that she's probably guilty about it. Basta she just left me, or she, no, not really left me yet because she was seeing someone else habang kami pa. And this was during the
Man.
ECQ days. You know, do you remember that
Seeing
time when
someone
there
else
was,
we were still together? Oh,
yeah,
crap.
yeah. Remember there was a time when there was like
Alam na
clustering. So I
A
aking...
couldn't
what?
go, or clustering, remember? Clustering sa Davao
Yeah,
before. Yeah,
yeah.
so
Hmm?
I really couldn't go to, she's in Mintal, so it's a different cluster. So I couldn't go there, and she did come here, so downtown. So yeah, you know, I'm, so I'm well over that. But it's just a story to tell, It's something that it's something that one can't
How
not.
did you find out? How did you find out?
Because there was a time when I've noticed that there's a difference with how she confronts me, how she talks to me, kung paano siya maglambing. There's a difference na,
But
and
there's
even
still
her family.
lambing.
Hmm.
So there's a difference in the lambing, but she still does that. Naglalambing pin. Is that what you're saying?
Um, I don't even know if it's
I
still
love you,
lambing.
Che.
I love you. Yikes. Atik
No.
lang.
Himasin mo
I don't
nga.
even know.
Ayaw.
I don't even know if it's. Don't cry. No, I'm not crying, Lay. Don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. Um, yeah, I didn't even know, man. Pero, no, when
Okay, go.
na-notice ko na because yun nga, even nag-iba na yung pagturing sa akin, even the family noticed it because there was a time now yung the cluster was like removed, so I can now see her sa
Yeah.
to her place. I can go. So when I visited, parang the family noticed na parang yun nga, nag-iba na yung pagturing sa akin and all. So I was like, so may you get doubts. There was like this instinct in you thinking na parang, all right, something's not wrong, something's not right rather. So
Yeah.
yun, eventually, to make the long story short, nakita ko yung messages niya with this person na yun, malapit lang din sa kanila that she's been seeing while we weren't seeing kasi we couldn't because of
Yeah.
the
Because
quarantine.
practically
Okay.
you're in a long distance relationship at that point.
Yeah, even though
because of
nasa
the plus
minsan
Pretty
one,
lang.
much, almost.
right?
Yeah, basically.
Right?
Basically, yeah, basically. So, yeah,
Well,
she
well,
was
did you learn
with
anything
someone
from
else.
this experience, Gab? I think that's the most important thing. Did you learn anything? Did it improve you as a lover, as a human being, as somebody approaching a relationship? Did you learn anything from it, or wala lang ulitin mo pa rin din yung approach mo, same banana? Like, are you able to differentiate now between women and how the relationship came to be, or I mean, do you blame yourself for it? Do you blame the pandemic? Do you blame her? Is there anything learned from this experience?
But I blame actually everything. Yeah, the pandemic, yes, because of the pandemic, parang we were separated, so just making it easier for her to do, ng kaliwa. So, and also I kind of blame myself because I was like what you told me even before pa, I'm too good, di ba? I'm butang rakay ko. You told me
Okay,
that
well,
before
okay.
pa.
The thing that you're too nice and that maybe your taste in women is a little bit questionable because medyo may telltale signs na yan eh. Like I myself, like I know if a woman is kind of going to be bad news. If a woman's a player, then I approach it as I would approach a player. I'm not gonna approach it as I'm approaching a woman I'm gonna marry. You kind of have to have
Well,
that sense.
the
I
thing,
think that's important. That will spare
the
you of a
thing
lot
is,
of pain if you know how to read women.
yeah, I know that
Pag
actually.
player yan,
Pero
player yung approach mo, di ba? Wag ka.
the thing is, she wasn't a player, or so I thought. Kasi when I met her, parang she's like goody-goody two-shoes, so parang ganyan.
Ayun ang mas painful. Yun ang mas painful na hindi siya player pero naging player siya with you. That even makes it worse. It's
Yeah,
like,
basically.
I mean,
Basically.
you literally like
It's all
showed
your
her the
fault,
way.
Gab. Basically,
Yeah,
Rod is telling
literally.
you it's all your fault.
Basically, parang you showed her the way. Parang you paved the way for her to be a
Yeah.
player.
Thanks,
You know,
Rod.
it's
Uh,
Thanks
like
for thanks for being a good friend, man. Thank you.
not because a
uh,
Thank you
good
for
friend will
pointing
always
that
tell
out.
you
yeah,
even
yeah,
things that you don't want to hear. I think that's
exactly.
important. I mean, you paved
That's
the way
actually
for being
one
a
thing.
player, naging player eh, di ba? Di
One
malandi,
thing I
naging
appreciate
malandi.
about Rod, kasi
Kasalanan mo
Rod
eh.
is, yeah, is
Kasalanan mo.
Franca. Wait, it's not.
Yeah, because yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Gab, uh, at the end of the day, you have to think about what you bring out in a woman.
Yeah.
Are you making her laugh? Are you just providing comfort for her? I mean, what were you bringing into her life? Were you just her meal buddy? Were you just somebody to talk to at night? Or were you bringing something else beyond that? Because you should. You know what I'm saying? Like, kung uyab ka. You should be
Right. Are you
beyond the
well
uyab. You
endowed?
shouldn't
Like,
just, diba?
Rod's
I mean,
sister's
like,
ex-boyfriend?
paimasimasi po. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, don't just like introduce
Yeah.
her to things
Act
that she
like you're
wouldn't
well
experience with
endowed.
a
That's what women want, I think, or what that's what they like. Like,
even if you're
at
not,
least
just act
even if
like
you
it.
yeah,
I
even
mean,
if you
look at
don't
your
have it,
height.
like
Look at
act
your
like it.
height.
Right.
Look
Like,
at your height.
I mean, Tom Cruise, he acts like he's
And my
got the
height also
biggest,
goes sideways,
you know,
if you know what I
he's like
mean.
the
Yeah, like what?
he's got the
Like
biggest
what
dick in the
funny?
room. He's like, all right, I want that right here. This is my country.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think you kind of had to make her feel that way. Like you have to spank her a little bit. I mean, I'm saying like spank her like
Spank
physically,
her a
but you
little
have
bit,
to
Well,
sort of.
so
literally,
to
no.
speak.
I mean,
So to speak. Not
I
literally
mean,
spank her.
like what Iceman said. You have to bring out the animal in her. You can't just be like, kaunta, kumusta ka. Nice guys finish last. Okay, that's a common statement. Nice
You
guys
see her
finish
and like,
last.
kamusta naman ka?
Pack. Asa taon niya?
But this was something serious na kasi I think I saw it, or so I thought, kasi like she met my family, I met
She met
her
your family and still she
yeah,
did
sa
that to
Ormoc,
you? What
sa
the
Ormoc. Like we went to Ormoc,
right?
so met my mom,
Together?
met my
Okay, then let's
sister.
just blame
Yeah.
it on the pandemic. Maybe the pandemic just brought out the,
Yun nga
like
eh.
the animal in her.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's
Probably.
not your fault. It's not her fault.
Um,
It's like it's a pandemic.
kasi,
Things
kasi,
happen.
Yeah.
kasi
Oh,
we
you
were
know.
like, we were like, before the pandemic, we were like seeing like almost every day, then, do stuff as couples. Then pandemic came, then there was like several weeks.
This was
Like,
how long ago? Are you okay now though? Like,
yeah, I'm good, I'm good. This was during the height of the pandemic.
so this was like
A
what,
year
6 months
ago.
ago, 8 months,
Ano,
a
a
year
year
ago,
ago, probably,
a
yeah.
year ago.
A
All
year
right,
ago. A year ago. Well,
a year
actually,
ago.
I caught her July.
You
So, yeah,
caught
a
it
year ago.
July, so it's like a month
July.
ago. Like It's
July
like what
23 to be exact.
13 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, July
All right.
23 to
Well,
be exact.
well, thank God
Well,
you're still like in one piece, so that's fine. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I survived
well,
it. I
let's make it easier on you. Don't blame it on the pandemic. Blame it on her.
Yeah, blame it
Just
on her.
blame it on her.
She's a
But at the same time, blame
biatch.
it
Yeah.
on you because
I
you
actually
should have read
even
between the lines. You know.
actually I it came to a point. I was so down, di ba? When I caught her, I was so down. It came to the point that I actually visited Judge T in his office, support niya. I don't know
Why
if
would you
he's
do that? Were you planning to do something
no,
drastic?
no, no. I was
Were you
asking for
like, oh,
advice.
judge, what if I shoot her? Would I go to jail?
I was asking for advice. I was like a bit desperate, you
What if
know.
I whack her with a pipe? Would that be okay? Well, what would that be like? Attempted
Advice for
murder?
what? Like, advice for what? To win her back? Advice for what?
I mean, like
What
to
were you
how
trying to
to
do?
like actually advice for just anything, just so I can move
To
on
get
or
over
at
it?
least yeah, or at least feel better
Because
or
you were
something.
already broken up at that
Yeah.
time, yeah?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
very broken up.
My advice. My advice is just to accept it. It's acceptance. If you're gonna cry, cry. If you're gonna have to eat a
Yeah.
lot, eat a
Cry,
lot.
cry.
I think
Yeah,
at the
eat
end
a
of the
lot,
day,
drink a lot.
Yeah, that's
time
exactly what
heals all wounds, Gab. Time heals all wounds. All right, time
Yeah.
heals all wounds. I
that's
mean,
exactly what
even
I
the
did.
most traumatic experiences, with time, it's gonna heal it, and it's not gonna wipe it out. But if you think there's like one thing that you can do that will make it disappear the next day, then you're asking. Even Judge T can't work his magic on that one. You just have to accept it. Accept that you got burned. Accept that and be thankful for the experience, dude. Because like I said, it's always going to open up another door for you. Like now that you went through this experience, maybe you'll look at women differently. Maybe you'll pick women differently. Maybe you'll look at, different traits this time and see things, like myself, like if failed relationships lead us to successful relationships. You think about a job, right? If you have a bad job, are you going to go and apply to another bad job?
Hmm.
No, right? You're most likely going to learn from that bad job and pick up from it. And when you apply to another job, you're going to like try to avoid the perils of that previous job. You're going to be more picky with the people you work with. You're going to be more, you look at yourself with more value. And I think at the end of the day, this heartache, this heartbreak just tells you that hanggang dun lang yon. Her role in your life is to be the girl who cheated on you. Right?
All right, okay, here's the question
That's
from
it.
Ali. Did he ask you if she's
I don't
chubby?
know. I forgot. Pero this
All
was
right,
it.
okay.
I don't know if
Oh, that's good. I mean, I'm
when I
sure
visited.
God gave you some sound advice.
Yeah,
I mean,
he did. He
he,
did. Actually,
he's
did.
used to
Actually,
that. He's
yeah,
used
he
to
did.
that. He's used to that.
And
He's always
yeah,
good
he
with
did.
words.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
All right. Well, according to Jepo, it's not your loss, it's her loss.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, she
how
lost a
I.
nice guy, and you lost a cheating woman. So, you know,
Yeah.
so it
It's
is her
fine.
loss, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is her loss.
it sucks that it happens, but it happens.
Well, right. Shit happens, yeah.
It
Anyway,
happens.
yeah, but
Oh
you're
yeah,
fine, yeah? You're okay. You're okay,
yeah.
right?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good now. I
All
mean,
right,
like
okay, that's fine.
if
That's fine. Well,
if
we're
you were
happy to know
talking
that
to
you
me
are.
like a year ago, it would be different. But
All
now
right.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm like seeing
All
someone
right,
else.
cool.
So
Yeah,
All right, see, that's fine. See, you're
just
seeing
rest
someone else
assured, man.
now.
It happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
hello,
happened
do
to
you
you, it
remember
happened
happens
to
to
Rod,
everyone.
it happened to everybody.
Fred?
Oh, you
All
finally
right?
got it.
Hello.
It works.
Yep.
I have the twin
We're
brother
here.
here.
Still
Iceman,
don't.
ikaw na lang wala. Wala ka,
I have
Iceman.
it here. Okay, I'm gonna put batteries in this thing.
Asa na sa'yo,
Hey, talk,
Iceman?
talk, you little prick. No batteries. I'm
Bitin
gonna
ka,
put batteries.
Iceman.
Okay, we'll buy batteries tomorrow. Thursday.
Hindi ka included sa group
You'll see.
namin.
You'll see.
Special
You're
kami.
good, but may luha ang mata.
Walang luhang mata na ba?
Defensive.
It's just the lighting, I guess.
This is the
I
light.
could make this
All right.
brighter because look, I mean, well, I could, but my face is like, oily.
All right. Okay, well, it's good to know that you're fine. So,
I'm
right.
good. I'm good. I'm good now. I'm good now. It's
All right,
just,
cool.
Walang
it was
kwentang
just
babae
something.
yun.
It was just something that, kasi that happened when your heart was pure. so it's something you could never forget.
Yeah, that's why, if you have a pure heart, that happens to you. Get rid of the pure heart and get that
Nagiging
black heart,
impure.
right?
Make it dirty.
Right? Just
No,
like,
no, no.
yeah.
Keep on trucking, man. We're not saying
No,
change
no,
who you are. No,
I know.
we're
You're just
saying
kidding. I know.
change the women that that change the like how you see women and how you pick out your women. Change it because we're living in different times, my friend. We're living in
Yeah,
different
exactly.
times. Di ba? Wala na tayo. We're not, wala na tayo sa panahon na you think you're gonna marry the first one. What are you thinking too? What were you thinking anyways? Were you thinking, pag na-girlfriend ko to, na-meet na parents ko, kami na, magpapakasal na. Come on, man. Like, people have so many plans. They look at their Facebook, all of a sudden,
Right.
iba na yung mood nila. May tinignan sila sa Facebook, iba na yung gusto
I
nilang
mean,
puntahan. Iba na yung,
yes. I mean,
di ba?
Rod's sister was married for crying out loud, and she wanted to go to Paris. What are you talking about?
All the while, exactly. With just a phone call from an ex. One phone call from an ex. Hey, Shara, my sister is single.
All right, okay, you
Oh.
guys talk. All right, you guys
No.
talk. Her sister is
No,
single.
Kurt is seeing someone else, so okay lang.
See?
Sige lang.
Okay. See, now you're making him the cheater now. Like he's seeing someone else.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, no need for that.
I
No
mean,
need for that. All right. Well, anyway, thank you, Gab, for joining us tonight. Like, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks,
You
Gab.
take
Thanks,
care. All
Gab.
right. Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
Gab is
Thank
good,
you.
man. He's
Anything.
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks
He
a
has
lot.
a-
Thank
he
you.
has a-
Bye.
All right.
He has a
Goodbye,
he has a
little
porn collection to last him a lifetime. He doesn't need
Of
women.
course.
I have the control center in the Matrix. Diba?
Yes, of course. Yeah, all the porns in what 10
Yeah.
screens.
This
All
screen
at the same
Japanese.
time.
This screen.
I
From
have
German,
VPN
Italian.
too.
Oh my God, everything from all over the world.
VPN. So okay lang.
Yeah, VPN. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
we
VPN?
use VPN. This is
Cool.
Japanese. Proton.
Oh.
Did you
Am I right?
subscribe to VPN? Did you
Yeah, I
subscribe
got
to
a
VPN?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, me too. I have VPN. So
Hey, teach me how that works because like if I subscribe to that using my email, can I use it on my TV too?
No.
yeah.
Well,
My
in my
sister's
case,
using. I think
Can I
you
use it on
Like,
multiple
they're-
devices?
pwede. I guess it depends on what VPN, but in my case, it's just for the computer.
Mm.
So I don't have a
Like
Yeah,
ask
because
Reese,
how am I
Reese
gonna
is
access
using
it? How can I access it on my TV? You know what I'm saying? It's like my
Well, if you
TV
have, like,
doesn't have
an
a
Android
like
TV,
a legit.
like, Does
I have a
it
smart TV,
browser?
but like
Does it
it
have a
does,
browser?
but like it does. But
ask
I mean, I
Reese, I
can't go to
think-
my email through it. Like we'll see, we'll see. Yeah,
Yeah,
I need a
guess it
VPN
depends.
too.
It depends, man. Depends.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I want to
sige.
subscribe to a VPN,
Okay.
but I don't. Yeah,
Okay,
all right,
thanks,
all right.
Gab. All right, we'll
Thanks,
see you.
thanks, thanks.
Yeah, take
Thanks
care,
for having
Gab.
me.
All right,
Yeah.
so
if
right,
it,
so
if it doesn't kill you, it can only make you feel better, or it can only make you better or stronger. I guess.
yeah, I use it for
Yeah,
my.
so,
I have
we're
VPN
good?
for my Netflix. I have like, if I use my Roku, because that's the one connected to like a sort of VPN type, then it's connected to yeah,
Your
like
TV?
it's set in like the US. So that's like I have a US Netflix and I have a Japan Netflix. And ExpressVPN, I have it in my TV. So I think this is Reese typing. So yes, you can use it. See, you can use it on your
Yeah.
TV. So Reese
Yeah, I'm
is,
trying to figure out like how I can use it on my TV. Because I'm thinking about subscribing to I think it's ExpressVPN that I might subscribe to.
so yeah.
'Cause,
So Reese
'cause-
is like using it.
Yeah, because
At
my
home.
mom has like Hulu and all this stuff, and she wants me to watch it too and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I have my friend's Hulu as well, so I can watch Hulu as well because my
I
friend
know,
shared
I
an account
know.
with us. So I was like,
like
cool."
Amazon Prime
Yeah, I have Amazon Prime as well.
and HBO. What's the HBO one? The one that shows the movies? Is it Max or Go? What is it?
I think HBO Max. I think that's HBO Max. I don't have that.
HBO Max.
And you have like
Yeah,
a
HBO
Disney
Max.
as well.
Yeah, there's Disney too, and that will all work with But then again, I don't even have enough time to watch the movies on Netflix. What am I doing? What the
true.
heck, man?
You have two kids
This
for
is-
crying out
this is-
loud.
I know.
Collecting
I know,
all
you're right.
these like streaming companies like what
I can't watch
Prime,
any of them.
Netflix, Hulu,
I'm just gonna end up
Max,
watching.
Disney,
I'm just gonna end up watching Barney or what the heck.
HBO
whatever my kids
Go.
watching that.
Holy crap. All right,
Yeah,
okay,
I don't
so
have time to watch all of them.
iniwan o ng iwan. So yeah, tonight I think we like you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we're good. I think I'm good. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right, so yeah, so
So
basically like
iniwan o ng iwan, yeah.
so basically for me it's more painful if you're the one um, who got left behind. Kung ikaw yung
Iniwan.
iniwan, it's more painful, but in the long run, like it said, it's guilt free because you were the one who was let go. Like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm letting you go now. I'm leaving you, and then you'd be like so
yeah,
hurt. You'd be crying. You'd be like, you'd be in misery for a very long time. But once you get
yeah.
out of it, you'd be like, all right, I'm cool.
The best part I think of
Guilt free.
of iniwan is you have something to look forward to. Like iniwan ako, I'm
Hmm.
hurt, so you know that you're not always be at the bottom of the wheel. You eventually
Yes.
there'll be happiness waiting for you. Yung sa nang iwan naman, takot ka sa karma, and also the pain might come later because yung iniwan mo might find joy with someone else, and you might realize that you regretted that decision. So parang, di ba, parang there's also that the pain might come later. Nang iwan ka nga, ikaw nga yung lamang now. But then, if you see that person move on without you, and then it's your first time to see that person be with other people and be happy with other people. I'm speaking from experience. I've been through that. Of course, you're gonna be like, "Oh crap!" Like I can't accept this. I
Mhm.
thought I could take it. I thought I thought this is what I wanted, and you realize that it isn't what you wanted. The pain might come later. So I think it can be painful either way. But like what I said, painful nga yung iniwan ka, mas painful yon initially na iniwan ka, but there's also like something to hope for, I think,
Mhm.
rather than, rather than the guilt also that comes with the fact that iniwan. But either way, if it's always best if it's mutual. Di ba?
That's
It's
yeah,
always
that's
best if
true.
it's, di
But
ba?
then
That's the
again,
best case scenario.
you have to love yourself. Above all, love yourself. All right, love yourself because it's like with the
That's
pandemic
true.
and whatnot. Like
That's
everybody's
true.
going through something. We have all these, like struggles,
That's
emotionally,
true.
mentally. So, above all
You won't be able
else,
to
love
love
yourself.
fully if you don't love yourself. Yeah, you won't
Yeah,
be able to
love
love fully
yourself.
if you
All
don't
right,
love yourself. Yeah, that's important.
and
That's
take it
true.
easy.
That's true. Gab, love yourself, Gab.
Yes,
Sariling sikap,
and
hintay palad.
yes, and they palad. You have the porns and whatnot. Now, I mean, dude, like we're here. Like there's always Judge T, of course. But yeah, you can
That's
reach out
true.
to us, no problem.
You always have
Pag
someone to talk to, man.
iniwan,
Come on.
yeah, you just need someone to talk to. I think that's just the key. Talk to someone.
Yeah.
Pag iniwan,
Yeah.
masakit, pero nang iwan, mas masakit. Right.
Okay.
Really?
All right. Make up your
Mas
minds.
masakit pag nang iwan.
Ang gulo
Jepoy,
nyo.
ano pa talaga? Samuka ni mo, Jepsoy. Ganyan ba pag tumira na ng Cavite?
Yeah. Cavite na eh. Caviteño. Ang Batanggenyong Caviteño. Have you seen the
Ang
movie?
Batanggenyo,
Batanggenyong
Caviteño.
Caviteño. Yeah.
That's like Leo Martinez, yeah?
The Leo Martinez. I
Ala
saw that in
eh!
Victoria Plaza. Ang Batanggenyong Caviteño.
Ang Batanggenyo, ang Caviteño,
I love
si
I love
Jeffrey Awid
Pinoy movies, man.
Mandi. Oh my God. All right.
Si Epipanyo ang bilas ko.
It was
Epipanyo ang
supposed to be
bilas ko.
Epifanio Velasco, yeah? Like si
No,
Epifanio ang bilas.
Epimaco. It's
Ay,
Epimaco.
Epimago
It's
ka.
supposed to be Epimaco
Epimago ka.
Velasco.
Oh, that's
Si
Epimago.
Epimanyo ang bilas
All
ko.
right.
All right,
All right.
anyways.
Okay, we'll
All
see
right,
you
so we're
guys on
good.
Thursday. We're good.
Yeah,
Pinky
we'll
can't
come up
make
with
it tonight
something.
because she has 2 consecutive meetings, so she couldn't make it. So we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that thing like next
CJ,
time.
same goes for you, all right? Don't think too much about, all
Yeah,
these emo
CJ.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
CJ, be happy, man. You have all your
Right.
life
Love
to live,
yourself.
all your
Love
life to
yourself.
love.
Yes.
Yeah. And Ninong's always here, all right? So
Right. And
just
speaking of
message
Ninong,
him.
your Ninong too. Ilan beses na kami iniwanan ng katulong, walang ulan. Walang ulam.
Walang
I
ulam.
mean, walang ulan, walang ulam, I mean.
Hold on. Is that a title of a movie too? Beses na kami iwan ng katulong na walang ulam. That's
Ilang
like a
beses na
long
kami
Filipino.
iniwanan ng katulong, walang ulan. Ulam, I mean. Judge T, you never changed. That's what I love about you.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
yeah, he's consistent. You
Yeah,
take care,
right.
Judge. All right,
Okay,
so
so we'll see
Thursday,
you on Thursday. All right.
take
I
care,
don't know.
man.
Like, if Pinky can join us, we'll talk about that thing. But if not, then we'll find something else to talk about. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us, people. Shara, Jepoy, was Patrick present tonight? He wasn't, yeah. But Joe Boy was. All right, Gabby.
Somebody showed up like the first time ever. Like, I don't know who that guy was. Somebody showed up really, really early, and we've never had this guy before. And then, like, I don't know, he disappeared. But I saw him pop up. So I
V
forgot
also
the guy's
joined
name.
us. Like,
It wasn't Patrick.
Was it
Yeah,
Patrick?
there's this new guy who joined, but he disappeared. Like I forgot who he
Okay.
was, but
Well, not Joe Boy, yeah. Joe Boy's like
not Joe
different,
Boy,
right?
not Joe
Okay.
Boy, not Joe
Anyway.
Boy, but Joe Boy.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
thanks a lot. So we'll see you on Thursday. This has been the OK Show, and my name is Iceman,
Rod Rodriguez.
and we are out tonight. Good night, folks. Thank you very much. And all right, let me play this one before we just split. Boom. Bye.